titillate the juices. You know what? Woo! Right now. Woo! Woo!
Dr. Hughes invites followers. Oh, let's see if they increase now. Me too. Yeah, wow. Dr. Hughes.
Mock-ass mock.
He's a great podcaster.
Trick-ass mock.
Acknowledge me. We coming for you, nigga. Fat!
Yeah, Dr. Hughes, here we go. Keep plugging yourself, that's cool.
First up, a man whose looks will serve your inner needs and desires.
Dr. Hughes.
That's right. Dr. Hughes is back with the Sleaze on another Saturday. Get liking, get subscribing, share this all over the world. We got to make fun of all the wrestling of the past week. It's going to be a great old time. There's so much to talk about. A lot of personal promos on last night's SmackDown. You know, pretty personal promos on Monday Night Raw too. So we're going to talk about all this. But first, of course, go check out the album. It's on Spotify. It's on YouTube. I have 50 music videos with the music itself. There's all kinds of shit going on out here. Got the Teespring store. Of course, go check that out as well. These are ways you can support the show. You know, we're at this pace, we're never going to be monetized on YouTube. TikTok kicked us off because we're way too cool for them. You know, we're dangerous, Sleaze, out here.
Dangerous. They know it. Shit's getting real.
It is. Kicking us off everywhere because we're doing a comedy show. I don't understand.
Just trying to be funny, people.
We're just trying our best. And thank you to everybody out there that does retweet, like Mac Diesel. I see you in the chat. Shout out to you, bro. Yep. What's up, Doc? I know what you're doing there. Bugs Bunny, right? Kids don't know nothing about Bugs Bunny, Sleaze.
No, he's canceled.
Yeah. and Dr. Seuss. Remember they canceled Dr. Seuss?
Yeah.
Yep. Cancel everything. Let's cancel John Cena, Cody Rhodes. Or maybe not. Maybe it's finally starting to get somewhere. It's like WWE's been hearing all the talk out here. Everybody's saying, you know, this WrestleMania build sucks. And that could be for a variety of reasons. One being the promos and the battles building up these matches, like this Cena and Cody Rhodes one has been the total shits. But, you know, this week it's like they woke up all of a sudden and they're actually going after each other.
Yeah, it only took until 2 weeks until the actual show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this week on both shows, fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Cena, I believe, you know, of course, he got in the ring with Cody Rhodes and they started having it out again. And what was being said? Because there's so much. I can't remember this off the top of my head. Oh, so Cody Rhodes does the Eminem thing where he's like, oh, I'm Stardust. I have a lisp. I have this bad neck tattoo. He's basically stripping that all away from Cena before he can use it on himself. Smart move, Cody. But again, I see what you're doing. You're very fake. You're very phony. I'm not buying what you're selling. But then again, I'm a grown man and wrestling is primarily for kids. So, of course, they're going to buy into the. But what do you think, Sleaze? Is he authentic? Because that's really what this promo is all about, going back and forth.
No, he's still very scripted. There were certain parts that got a little bit emotional from him, but even when John Cena was like screaming in his face, he would come back with the and it just, you need to feel him more. It got better, but it could be better.
Yeah, he's comes off very corporate and naturally heelish. I mean, the blonde hair in itself is like a heel move. The outfits, the ties, and suits, the things like, even now everybody loves the song and everything, and then Cody Rhodes comes out here and does the double pump with the extra explosions. It all makes me cringe.
Yeah, it's overdone. It's overdone. Like every time I hear his music now, I'm like, all right, I could literally go to the bathroom, get a drink, come back, and then finally get some kind of promo.
And then he gets in the ring And of course, where is it?
What do we want to talk about?
We get the way. What do you want to talk about? And he's like, he did it the other night with Cena too, and it was a pretty good promo compared to what he usually does. But he's like, I'm in the ring and I have this hair and I have this neck tattoo and the crowd is standing here in front of us, and it's like just pointing out a whole lot of obvious shit. And I'm just like, get to it, Cody. What are we talking about here? But he did get to it, at least on this promo. He says, John Cena, he's still my hero and all this, but you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, I like that part. That was a good part. But if we got more of that, Cody Rhodes, where it's like, I am this and I am that, and you're a piece of shit, and let's go, and they actually put hands on each other. That's what should have been happening 2 weeks ago.
Exactly. It had to have happened a lot sooner. I mean, he kicked you between the legs like a month ago, right? And you just let it go for weeks, and now you're starting to get angry and you want to do things to him. It doesn't make any sense.
No, and he's just mentioning The Rock. He's not mentioning Travis Scott yet. All that stuff could have been brought up to make this better.
But, and then also, my problem with John Cena that I had with this promo is, how he likes to knock down the fourth wall and, make things too real. He's talking about Cody as a worker. He didn't talk about him as a wrestler. Like, he almost brought up like work rate and shit like that, like things that marks use. And I'm not liking this. I don't like how WWE in the Triple H era is going full, like, who cares? Everybody knows it. You're like, let's not play the everybody knows game, because guess what? A lot of people don't know. A lot of people are dumbasses, or they're young and they don't need to know that everything's a work, So John Cena just saying this it just pulled me right out of it again.
Yeah, the whole chauffeur comment and everything like that, you could tell the crowd was like, what did he say for a second? Because nobody knows that shit. Just get in there and start going back and forth. You're a shitty wrestler. You're a shitty wrestler. I'm better. Do that stuff. I'm over the whole fourth wall stuff.
Yeah. And Cena's promo has basically been what we've been saying for weeks about this whole thing. That's how he went at Cody. He said everything. I was starting to think, I'm like, wow, he's really just saying that he's the car salesman coming down. Nobody buys it. Everybody knows what you're trying to do, and like I said, the kids are into it, but the kids are into yeet. They're into anything. You can literally make them like, yes.
Yeah. It's just stay away from the fourth wall stuff. That's the stuff that's pulling me out of it. And there was stuff later on Friday that I had plenty to talk about that dealt with the same thing. It's one wrestler going against another wrestler for a title or whatever. Stick to that. We're over it.
But Cody did the same thing as far as the fourth wall business a little bit, bringing up Vince McMahon. Like, the only reason you were the top guys because you had one guy back there that just put you over. And it's different. That's the good way of doing it. Using wrestling terms in the middle of it. Like, imagine if he was like, yeah, you're not even a good baby face. It'd be like, what are you doing? So that's my only problem with John Cena. Other than that, he kind of roasted Cody Rhodes. They were roasting each other, but I think John Cena got over on him because it was based more in truth than anything else.
Yeah, and that's what they need to stick to. The Vince line, okay, everybody knows about that. If you're going to refer to stuff that's in real life, then do that. That everybody knows. But don't go to like chauffeur stuff, and we used to travel together, and I'm getting tired of that shit.
Oh, yeah.
It's easy. It's way too easy.
And I actually wrote it down. I'm like, the extra fist bump he does. I fucking hate that. Hello, Sasha Reigns.
Hello, Sasha Reigns.
Sasha Reigns in the house, everybody. Get liking and subscribing. Again, retweet this. Put this out there. We're live on X now, Sleaze. We're live on the YouTube. And we're on Rumble now because TikTok kicked us off. It won't let us back on. Won't let us know why.
That's why I don't post shit on there. Maybe what's this Rumble thing? I'll get on there.
Yep. Rumble
Check
is,
it out.
it's white nationalist heaven over there, I believe. Listen, we got to go anywhere they'll take us. We're
Right.
refugees in the internets for now. And, anything can happen with Twitter any day, YouTube, of course. We don't even, who knows what their rules are. I see people, I'm not shitting you, Sleaze. They won't let me play a podcast on here or have a live stream. They cut them off midstream if I start to play anybody else's music, right? So I'm like, okay, I get it. I can't play anybody else's music, right? I'm watching other live streams. They're playing other people's music. DMX. They're playing, you name it, from our past. And their streams don't get shut down midstream. They just go, it doesn't get monetized. But we're not getting monetized anyway. So does that mean I can play music or I can't? Right?
I don't think we're stroking the right shaft.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem. A lot of people are out there stroking the shaft, cradling the satchel. I don't think we're doing that. So
we have to do that harder. We have to find some more balls to wash.
Yes.
Some
ball washers. Yes.
Oh my God. Yep. So what happened? Cody finisher balled out the end. That's what I wrote. What does that mean?
I don't even
Cody
know.
finisher. Oh, okay. So Cody did his finisher on Cena. His bald came out because he was wearing a hat. Because, he told John Cena he couldn't wrestle, and everybody knows it, and that's why they were chanting it. So the crowd started chanting it. He got back in the ring to show him he could wrestle, and then, of course, proved that to be true, because then Cody put him right in the crossroads. So
Right.
Yeah.
Another good one from Cody, but that was absolutely scripted. I mean, it's true. Over the years, they've shit on him for not being able to wrestle. And, if you go toe-to-toe, I believe that Cody Rhodes' in-ring work is a hell of a lot better than John Cena. But again, this isn't the business for strictly just wrestling.
That neck tattoo is bad, man. Like it's just always there. Why would you get a tattoo on your neck?
Yeah. And I forgot Tuesday was April Fool's, and somebody put out there that he got it removed. And I was like, oh, thank God. And then, fuck me.
Could be the best decision he'd probably ever made, but of course he's not going to do it. Got it. Yep.
Because now he's infamous for it. He's known for it. He ain't going to get rid of that thing.
He should just up the ante and put like that same tattoo on his whole back. The whole thing, and maybe a sleeve of just the same tattoo.
Just have several of the same tattoo, just in really bad places, like a tramp stamp.
Yeah. Yep.
On his thigh, on his nipple. This is all good ideas.
Right on the butt cheek.
Yep.
Great branding, Cody. I'm sure that's how they sold you on the neck tattoo. If that was your idea, then man, maybe you got dropped on your head too many times, right?
Even his wife Brandy came out and said, "Yeah, I was so against that tattoo, like so against it."
Yeah. And have you tried Blue Sky? No, because I heard that there are PDF files on there, and I don't want nothing to do with that.
Isn't there like a big investigation against them? Isn't Elon Musk up their ass or something?
I don't know. I'm not saying anybody from any of these platforms are angels or anything, but I don't know. X and Twitter or whatever you want to call it, it lets me do stuff at least. None of these other platforms ever have let me do things on there or grow in any kind of way.
No, it's the only one that really. I mean, you could show tits on X now, and other stuff. There's a lot of TNA and V's. A lot of V's.
Instagram seems to be pretty good if you just stay on brand, if you will, or topic or whatever, and just like do that over and over and over again. Like anybody can really grow on there.
Right.
Man, social media stuff is crazy. I thought TikTok would have been, I was hearing that it was very free and stuff, but I think the reason why it even exists is they made a deal with Trump and you can't talk about certain things or even say certain words. Yeah. And we said certain words and they're like, you got to get out of here and we'll never let you come back because you clearly we're on to something.
Yeah.
You know, yeah,
It's also owned by communist China.
yeah.
You know,
That's
so they don't like anything.
crazy times. By the way, everybody, especially you TikTok people, when this gets chopped up and put on there anyway, this is a warning. Read it. I'm not even going to read it to you. Everybody online already heard it, so
Yeah.
just take a good look at that. That's
I
what's
would never
going
try
on.
to cancel Pinhead from Hellraiser.
Yeah, I'm sure some Facebookers probably will.
Yeah.
They love canceling anything. They believe everything. So say somebody's trolling and is like, I can't even come up with a good example. It's just basically they'll believe any crazy theory or made up thing, and they'll just run with it and be outraged or back it fully, even though it's not real. It's like because they just read the headline.
Yeah, because Facebook is where all the boomers are. That's why. And they're just terrible.
Yeah. I bet you Cody Rhodes is on there.
Cancel.
What do we want to talk about?
Everybody gives them like 1 jillion likes for it, for saying, what do you want to talk about?
Yep.
That's how everything works these days, Sleaze. Yep. We got to complain a little more about this. This is a theme, I guess, that we're going to be doing. Paladin, shout out to you. You woke up in time for the show. Good. That's right.
job.
Set your alarms.
Yep.
Notifications, all that stuff. But, everything's so fake. It's just it's exhausting how fake everything is. And have you heard the Hawk Tua with the Hawk Tua coin? Basically a scam, right?
Yeah.
She just got off with it, like no problems, no jail time, no fines or anything. I guess
She's making people a lot of real money. That's why. She just came back online. Yeah, I was surprised. I'm like, she's not in jail. She just frauded a bunch of fucking people.
Casey Anthony is showing up. She's on TikTok. She took down her own TikTok, but she's allowed on TikTok. I'm not. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
She killed her own kid, but,
It's just, what else? I got so many more examples. Just Logan Paul in WWE. Doing great. He was out here doing Hawk Tuas too recently, and everybody's we're now cheering or booing him because they love the boos too. You saw Charlotte Flair last night; she loves those boos. Everybody does, So I just can't stand. Pat McAfee. Everybody's telling me in real life and online. Oh no, Dr. Huge, you're wrong. Pat McAfee is cool. All right. We like Pat McAfee and we're entertained by him. And I'm just like, what?
You're entertained by that? Like even people in the business now are complaining about him.
Really?
Yeah. They're
What have you
backstage
heard?
saying he's like way too much. They told him to like tone it down and all this stuff. And I don't know what's worse, him toning it down and trying to be like an actual commentator now. I don't know if you noticed this, but it's cringy as fuck. I don't get it.
I've noticed he has toned it down, and it's now just kind of boring. But instead of being annoyed, now I'm bored.
Yeah, that's exactly the way I thought. Now it's just like, okay, so you have an amateur guy that doesn't know anything about wrestling talking boring. He's not even color. He's not like what is. I don't get it. What is it? What are you trying to sell to us?
I pulled a clip. I wonder if I even have it in here. I'm not going to look for it right now, but it's just a random Braun Breaker match. And in the middle of it, Cole's saying something, he's saying something, and he's just being so cringe. He's like, oh, that's the dog. He's a dog. And shit like that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, stop it.
It's really
What is
good,
this?
right? It's really good. That's good.
And we don't want his job. It's not like people are like, oh, you're jealous and you just want his job. You're crying and things, everybody. And here's another thing. Everybody that says I'm crying about things whenever I write an opinion or response or a reaction to something, guess what? If you're saying that I'm crying, you're crying about me crying.
Yeah.
That's the logic. So if I'm crying about something, you're crying about something too.
That's what it is. That's a new thing online is that if you're crying, people want to cry about you crying. Makes no sense at all.
Shout out to William. So that's how I'm just trying to lay it out here so all the knuckleheads across the interwebs can understand what we're saying. Okay, because this isn't rocket science. This wrestling is 99% opinion based. There's a few wrestlers or angles or whatever that we can all agree are good, bad, whatever. But these people out here, they all think they're fucking geniuses and analysts and experts, like they've been doing it for decades, talking about it for decades, but literally doing it for 10 years or so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Take that, kids.
Go get a real hobby. Go
That's
outside. Right. Talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
Stop masturbating. There's a lot of masturbating going on with these people.
In the wrestling world, oh yeah, I'm sure of it. Yeah,
IWC is just fucking...
You can see it all over their NWO shirts.
Right.
And stuff.
It's all sticky and
all
hard.
Those black wrestling shirts like this one. I won't pull it up any higher because, it's going to be crusted.
I don't have pants on right now, so.
Never deodorant, too. You never wear deodorant.
No.
When you go anywhere, especially to a wrestling event or a con where the wrestlers will be at. You don't want to wear deodorant because then how will other people, other fans know that you're a wrestling fan, too?
Yeah. You have to have that musk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
wrasslin musk.
Half spunk, half BO.
Yeah, ball sweat.
Yeah, and then when people like complain about it and go, "Hey, Dr. Huge, you stink." I'm like, "You're crying,
right?
Why are you crying about it? Stop crying about it." The only time Mac Diesel cries is when he sits on his nuts. Get it? He goes, wah! It's one of the greatest memes ever, by the way. That's something we'll have to lift and just put on here in the background for no apparent reason other than this guy goes to sit down at like an event. He's on a panel. And he goes to cross his legs, and one of his nuts are probably up on his leg, and he sat on it or did something. He goes, and he screams in the air. He goes,
Mac Diesel, when he sits on his nuts, he looks like Paul Heyman last night.
Oh my God. Did you see Paul Heyman's neck last night? It's like getting bigger than ever. What the hell, dude? That's that can't be good. His neck is so big it looks like he's wearing the manager neck brace. It's like crazy fat.
He can barely move his head. It's crazy.
My goodness,
it's like a walrus.
Yeah, you got a bullfrog neck.
Yeah. His eyes are all bulging out because he's pre-diabetic.
Looks like he's post-diabetic.
Oh yeah.
You look horrible. I'm just gonna say, and I've seen some of your social medias lately, Paul. Mostly coming from the inside of restaurants. So I'm guessing that might be the issue. I am a doctor. Thank you very much. So free advice. Mm-hmm. And stop wearing deodorant. Why do wrestling fans and metal fans in particular? Why do you guys have to stink? Like I get that many of you have given up and don't even care about women and stuff like that, but can't you? It's offensive. That's where literally it's offending other people that are out here. You got to wear. You can't smell like ass and armpits everywhere you go. Just a suggestion. Another one. I am a doctor again.
Right. There's a lot of people in this world. Have some consideration. Jesus.
King Reezy in the house. Maybe we'll
coming on.
Later. Maybe we'll see. Shout out to you. Nope. Everybody stinks out here. Literally and figuratively. Wrestling fans smell awful. Go to an indie show. It's a nightmare. Yep.
I've been. Yeah, we've been. It's bad.
Yep.
They talk to you and they have that ass breath.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Jesus, didn't you know you were coming out in public?
Like I said, the metal shows are some of the worst because it's like, oh, now I'm gonna, run around in the mosh pit after I haven't showered in a week.
Yeah.
Or wiped ever in my life.
Smell like ass and hot dog water. It's really off-putting.
Oh my God, man. It's true. It's true. So anybody out there that has heard the rumors and stuff, it's all true.
It's true.
100%. And we can't even shame him into doing this, I guess.
No.
All we can do is conform and maybe smell worse and get them to go away.
That's what I'm going to do next time we go to a show. I'm not going to shower, wipe my ass.
Nice.
Any of that. Should brush my teeth for like a week just to fit in.
Why? Why do it? What's the point?
Yeah. I want that aroma of wrestling.
The sleazy soup.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So, yeah, overall, this Cena and Cody stuff, better than general, what we've been getting. So, kudos to them for that. So now I'm kind of looking forward to something, but still, what happened to The Rock? What happened to Travis Scott? Like you said, like what's going on with this? Like you're just going to forget that they slapped you up and stabbed you in the back and The Rock wanted your soul and, you know, wiped your blood all over your father's death date or whatever. Like he doesn't care about that. Okay.
The Rock's doing a lot of stuff by popping up like this and then disappearing that you totally forget. So it's not making an impact because the next day you're like, okay, he's not going to show up again. So this means nothing. This 1-2 finger thing he did and the soul's fucking sucking or whatever the hell he's doing now. Yeah, just it's not culminating to anything.
It's like he needs a writer for this.
Yeah. Yeah.
A personal writer for this. Okay.
That contradicts the real writing in the wrestling. Like it's, somebody said, I don't know if it was Jim Cornette or somebody else I was listening to a while back, but somebody in the office has to say like, all right, stop coming in and fucking around. You know what I mean? If you want to come into our storyline, that's one thing, but don't come in with your bullshit and then not show up for a month, you know, cause it's screwing things up and that's what it's doing now.
And then he just randomly shows up and goes,
Trailer park trash!
and that's pretty much it. And you're like, okay, like, why are you here, though?
It makes no sense. None.
Just showed up last minute to take Cody's soul and all that. He's had the belt for a year. Why didn't you do this, like, in maybe the summertime when you actually did become friends? Whenever that storyline happened, right? Where they're best friends and their family was friends. Remember all that?
That didn't even make sense. If they would have trickled that down through the summer, this would have made more sense. But out of the blue, they're like besties, like going out and having picnics and shit.
Yep. Again, because I think it's because the WWE is into this whole, oh, well, the audience seems to know that it was all the work, that The Rock was really didn't like Cody and was beating him up and things like that. So let's just give it to him and show how they've had pictures backstage together and their mothers know each other and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, this is stupid. That's stupid.
Stop. Yeah, stop it. It makes no sense.
Let everybody speculate. Let everybody, you know, feel smart, you know, out here because I know wrestling. I'm keeping up with dirt sheets and I'm, you know, and I know it's not fake. Who cares? It's a show.
Yeah.
Are we always going around, oh, man, I know The Walking Dead. That's not real. Zombies aren't real, guys. I get it. Yep, we get it. But
that's just like a good point because you bring up like TV and movies and stuff. That's like them being heads deep into a movie, right? Like an hour in. And then all of a sudden, one of the actors who's a good guy goes to the bad guy like, hey, but didn't we hang out last night? What? What are we doing? Stop doing that shit.
Yeah, it makes me go, why am I watching this then? So, right. So I'm stupid, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks for pointing out I'm dumb.
And that's what I think they're doing. Like, in a way, it's a psychological thing. I understand I'm not trying to get too deep with this, but it's like there's layers to this. So they know that we know, right? But most, I would say, people that watch wrestling aren't doing podcasts. Let's just assume that, even though that's probably not true. You know, I'm trying to be entertained by this. So I'm not reading dirt sheets every day, even though I am doing a show. I keep up with it a little bit, but I'm not, because I'm trying to be, I want to be swerved. I want to be worked, you know? So now when you're going to tell me things are works and swerves, exactly. It's like watching the Avengers and then Captain America turns around and goes, by the way, Thanos isn't real. We're going to beat him in the end.
Right. Nobody wants that.
Mm-hmm.
That makes way too much sense. We all know it's fake. We've known for years. You know what I mean? I don't need to be told that it's fucking fake. I want to watch the show for a guy that's fake wrestling fighting another guy that's fake wrestling and to see who wins. You know, that's what wrestling is. That's what it's been for over 100 years. Like all of a sudden they're just like, it's mind numbing.
Am I going to freak out over like the initial Netflix night when Triple H made that video and talked about like heels and baby faces or whatever he talked about? I don't care about that. That makes sense. That was like a business montage, right? There's difference between, say, like I said, The Walking Dead, the show, and The Talking Dead.
Yeah.
Right afterwards.
Right.
They're going to talk about it like they're in real life because they are. In The Walking Dead, you're not going to have, you know, an actor turn around, call another actor by their real name. That doesn't make any sense.
No, it even goes so far, and The Rock did this the last time he was on those post-show press conference and stuff. They need to start keeping the kayfabe in that. You know, you can have Triple H come out and talk about numbers and all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. But you can't have the final boss go on the show and call everybody trailer trash and he wants Cody's soul and then go back to the press conference and say, oh, well, you know, me and Cody talked backstage and this is what me and fucking Triple H talked about. You got to stay in character for that shit. John Cena came out and dropped the mic and left. He didn't come out and say, oh, my God, like, you know, I've really wanted to turn heel for a while and this, that, and the other. Stop doing that. It takes you out of what this is.
Yep. And even The Rock's daughter, I'm sorry, I'm not a hater or anything, but everybody's talking about Nepo babies and everything this week. How about her? You know what I mean? Yeah. It's kind of crazy the role that she's gotten. And we all know why, right? So either do something with that to make me dislike her on purpose, because The Rock being a bad guy and then her running NXT somehow doesn't make any sense.
She should be running it as a heel because she is a Nepo baby, and that would make way more sense. There should be an angle that turns her, and I think she'd be a lot better at that. This goody two-shoe fucking Ava shit has not been over since it started. And that's why people are calling her that, because it's not working and they need to change it. She's The Rock's daughter. Play off that shit.
And boy, she just stuck out. Even when she was wrestling with that group there. I forget their names. But anyway, you know, it's just, you know what the WWE does. They want hot broads. You know, they want the hottest chicks that can move around the best, not even necessarily wrestle. And they're like, oh, we'll just teach them how to wrestle. She's stuck out because it's just, you know, she's not a 10 like most people aren't. And, you know, she wasn't the greatest in the ring. And then I didn't even know this the whole time. When I did find out she was The Rock's daughter, it just all clicked for me. And then she became the commissioner. And I was just like, so they're never getting rid of her, right? Right. She's that great on the mic that they got to keep her for. I got it. Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't at all. Maybe have her start drinking before she goes on the show like her dad does.
Yes.
And maybe we'll get something else out. But
heavily.
Yeah. You forget. Like whenever I happen to catch a clip of NXT and she's on it, I forget that she's the general manager. That's how bad it is.
So Reezy says fans act like these guys aren't backstage rehearsing these segments, agreeing to them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fans act like a lot of things these days, and not necessarily fans. You know, I understand everybody's critiquing everything out here, but the critiquing has gotten to a point where, like, it's gone overboard. We get it. You all know what everything is. Again, most of what's going on in wrestling is very clear what's good and what's bad. Sometimes you'll have, you know, like last night, I believe Braun Strowman in Last Man Standing matches is Dean Malenko.
Yeah.
It's just, he literally is the shits when it comes to regular matches.
It's the shits.
He runs around the ring like an idiot. You know, the whole thing is, it's wonky, the match itself. It's never memorable. But for some reason, I remember these Braun Strowman. He's fought with everybody backstage. And apparently that's why they do it. Because it's good. And everybody knows, generally seems to like that stuff. So
Yeah, I could see that. I agree.
But these are one of the things that, you know, an outlier, because everything else is pretty obvious in this wrestling business. And these kids, they love fighting about everything. Again, I like that WWE fans and AEW fans fight. I think they should probably do it more. But it doesn't mean sometimes I just look at it and I'm just like, how ridiculous are both? You know, especially the AEW ones, because you're literally on the lower rung. So you're punching upward, which is generally a better thing. But you look so ridiculous when you're fighting, Godzilla out here is a person. You're just going to throw rocks at it and you think it's doing anything. It's not doing anything.
It's very childish. It really is. And a lot of these, like teenagers, obviously, but like 20-year-olds, their brains are so childish that I don't know what goes through them, and I don't know the thought process. Because if you think a lot of the stuff on AEW is better than WWE, your brain hasn't developed yet.
Mm.
Like it boggles me. There's so many times I want to jump in, and I just no, I can't do it. It's going to make me stupid.
Yeah. Same here. I don't even deal with all that stuff, but I am watching kids. Keep it up. It is entertaining sometimes. They're like creating cult groups out here and fighting with other cult groups.
Yeah.
Even within, like, there'll be WWE fans and they're all fighting with each other because I guess these kids, they got nothing else to do except hang out on social media. And
that's what they do. That's
each other.
That's their living. They make no money off of. That's the best part. These people do it like they're getting paid, and it's like you see this, like on my timeline, you'll see the same people. I end up following them. And what's funny is they'll follow me back, and I have the total opposite of the opinions they have. But you'll see the same people just chiming into everybody's shit like, no, you're wrong. Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. No.
I have people talking to me for years. But if they disagree with one thing in wrestling, it's like they gotta let me know. And I just laugh. I'm like, I haven't heard from this guy in years.
Yeah.
And anyway, Mac Diesel, hot and can move like Nia Jax.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Well, she fits a role. I'm not saying that they all are 10s, technically. But Nia Jax is a 10 to a BBW lover, I would have to say. So there you go.
But she's an attraction. She's like an Andre the Giant. She's like a Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
She's an attraction.
Like Piper Niven, right?
Right. Biggins.
And Coach wants to know, did we get our interviews yet? No. But I'll tell you this. I did try to sign up for the affiliate thing that they have with Fanatics and all this, and hook it up to the show and all this. And it didn't work. Not like they didn't accept it or anything. The computer won't let me do it for some reason or another. So no affiliation, I guess. Maybe we'll try again someday, but it just it went nowhere. I tried multiple times. I love spending 4 hours sleaze on a computer and just problem solving and troubleshooting. I love it. It's my favorite thing in the world. And then especially at the end of it, 4 hours, and then nothing comes of it. This is the best.
I was going to say there's no fucking positive result at all. Yeah, that's my best pastime.
This is what life is all about. Thank you. It's wasted all that time for nothing. Yep.
Thank you, internet and technology.
What was Reezy talking about here? She has a job because of her father when wrestling didn't work. Oh, I know who we're talking about. When wrestling didn't work for her, they had to give her something. Yeah.
No, they didn't. But they did.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, commissioner of all things. And I love these commissioners. I like the managers, Pierce and all this on the main roster. There always should be somebody in charge of the shows. in that fake, we're doing things backstage. But with her, it doesn't make any sense, right?
Just have Shawn Michaels do it. I don't understand why they didn't go that way. That must piss him off.
He was the guy before, but now it's just he mainly gets his name on the title, and it's still every now and then they still act like he's the head honcho there. So what are we doing? We're just okay.
Prime example of she was put in place because of who her dad is, and that's why everybody doesn't like it, and that's why this nepo baby shit comes up all the fucking time.
Oh, we got more to say on this later. The nepo baby stuff with Charlotte and Tiffy. Oh my goodness, hot takes galore. But let's see what the people have to say still. Mac Diesel, AEW is unwatchable. Vanilla midgets.
Yeah.
Did you try watching this week at all?
I can't sit through the whole fucking show because I'll end up breaking one of my TVs. But I did see clips. The only good thing that came out of it was the only professional wrestlers they have on their roster, the Hurt Syndicate segment with MJF and Big Bill and his fucking crony. That was fantastic. That was like, okay, this is a wrestling segment. Like, I was amazed. Like, holy shit, they actually do that stuff over here.
Yeah, the Hurt Syndicate are pretty much the best thing at the moment. One of the best things. I won't even say because I can't tell you for certain. All I can tell you is I'm not really into the Young Bucks, even though they're not around. I'm not into Kenny Omega. Not in the Hangman Page. I just don't buy it. I don't, for whatever reason, I've seen enough. Is he good at wrestling? Sure. But again, I told you that's less than half of it for me. Like, that you could be a bad wrestler and still be over with me. Or just mediocre. Was The Rock like this great wrestler? Not really, but super over. Look who's here with us.
Holy shit.
I'm in the building.
Uh-oh. Reezy's in the house. Let's talk about it now, right this second, because you never know with this Reezy. He could just disappear at any moment.
Get his takes. Hurry up.
John Cena, right?
Oh, yeah, let's get your John Cena takes, and then we're going to do the Tiffy stuff. But yes, you seen the promo between Cody
John Cena has been tearing Cody Rhodes apart, and it's actually sad.
Why is that? Why is it so sad?
Because it's exposing Cody how awful he is at promos. Yeah, he gets a big pop when he comes out to the ring. The fans love him. But when he gets a mic, it's becoming to the point where he needs a manager. Bad.
And haven't we been talking about this since we came back to this show?
We have.
I've been trashing him for weeks.
Yeah, if he keeps going out there and keep doing, well, what do you want to talk about? Listen, he's going to lose that momentum.
Mm-hmm. What do we want to talk about?
I mean, how many baby faces, how many legendary baby face managers have we had? Not many. They can pull this off by getting him a baby face manager that can speak very well.
Yeah. Look at the people they're amazed you're awake, Reezy.
I'm amazed he's alive.
I've been working a lot, man. They've been killing me with these hours.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know it's only going to get better, Reezy. Don't worry.
I'm happy to be back.
Yeah. It's only going to get better. I'm working like 50 something hours a week at 46. So enjoy.
Oh,
Well, I can't wait until I'm like 85, 90, still working.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
Arthritis, shit in my pants, still working.
So, okay, here's a question for you. John Cena's exposed him. We've exposed him. I feel like John Cena just stole his whole promo from watching the DrHUGEshow like everybody else, get liking and sharing and retweeting. But do you think that this Cody Rhodes character is not authentic? See, he's gone.
That is a good one. That's a good question.
Oh, thank you. You answer it, though?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I said that. No, I said that's a good question. I think it's authentic. I think it's like a combination of his dad and his stuff from what he did in New Japan. A little bit of a combination, but I think it's a little bit of both. Some of it's authentic, some of it's not. But I just don't think it's working for him. I think, he just needs a manager to speak for him and he'll be good.
I think he needs it all because he's not authentic. He doesn't know how to be like himself. That's what it feels like. He's really not being himself. He's
not. I
Jim
can agree with that
Carrey
part.
smile, the whole thing just. And if it is him, then maybe I just don't like him.
You know what I think it is? Maybe he's just a boring person. Maybe he's just a blah person where everything that he tries to do is just, it seems fake because he's so vanilla in real life. I don't know him personally. I haven't seen a lot of his interviews. Like I caught a clip of one today and it's the same. Like maybe he's just a boring person.
Yeah. When you think about it, same thing with Cena. You could say this, how he was on the TV shows and all this with the Bellas and whatnot. He looked just like, I don't know. It's, to me, it's like middle-aged white guys from like the 80s and 90s. Like I always had this like thing in my head, like they were just boring people.
Yeah.
Because any of them that I knew, they worked, they came home, and then they may had a little hobby or two like golf, which is boring. It's like some boring shit like that. And then that was like their life. Where like then now more today's age, like you got Zack Ryder out here like collecting action figures and like people are actually these middle-aged white dudes aren't so boring anymore and very standard, like basic bitch type things. And John Cena still, he fits that old school, like I'm just a middle-aged white guy that likes golf. And the same with Cody Rhodes. Like they just strike me as like they don't really have anything other than what they're doing, which is like business.
But the difference between like a Cody Rhodes and a John Cena is John Cena is a good actor. You know what I mean? So he can turn that off and he can act like something else, where Cody Rhodes can't do that. Yeah. His boring vanilla-ness, if that's a word, translates as hard as he tries to like stifle that down and not have it that way. It translates into his acting, which isn't good.
Not good at all. I agree with that, Sleaze. But I also want to add is it's maybe because, like we just said before, Cody's probably I think Cody's a boring person in real life.
Right.
I just think he's just, what's the word? Just, he's plain. He has nothing in real life. So when he comes out there, he's being himself, but he really needs a character. He needs a better character so he can stand out more.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think him being a heel, I can't wait till that happens because he was a great heel in New Japan.
It'd be the greatest heel move for him to do too, because it's going to happen eventually. It just has to. He comes out and he plays the part where he literally saves the country from racism. Full out, like, you can't tell me shit. I have a black baby. And guess what? I'm going to make it so nobody's racist again. And if you are, like, he's going to, and that would, it would never happen. But I'm saying if I were there, I would write something this, because just even bringing it up makes people like, in general, just even a little bit. And go for it. And I think that would be hilarious. He could come out in like the kufi hats and all this. What do they call them? Maybe a whole that outfit that the dashikis.
Oh God!
Imagine he comes out in that with a neck tattoo,
with those big like African continent fucking necklaces, and yeah. That's what we need.
Bring up how his father dated a black woman, and he knows the whole lifestyle. Yeah, William, I get it. Let's do it, WWE.
You could be a baby face and say and do heel shit. Like they've gone away from that. They're baby faces, and I mean in the industry. If you look at the baby faces in AEW too, they're all shuck and jive. Like, oh gosh darn it! Like you can still be heelish. The Rock did it for years.
Everybody has that asshole inside of them.
Right, even good guys.
He definitely could play a great, and people, like you said, people would hate it at first, I bet, and then it would grow on them, and they'd be like, he's right. You know what? He's actually right.
Yeah.
Maybe fix racism. And then they have such a big platform, it just fixes racism like worldwide. I mean, from the charisma of Cody Rhodes, right?
Right. Should he come out in blackface too, or no?
Well, I don't know. I don't think
too
that
far
is anything. That's if we want some Logan Paul heat or some Pat McAfee heat, around here.
Too far. Yeah.
Yeah, with the blonde hair. Yeah. Look great.
Yeah.
So yeah, we think we nailed that. We're right about everything with this John Cena, Cody Rhodes stuff. And they should do everything that we say.
Right.
Let's offend everybody. It will bring more eyes on the product, right? Is this Trump's America or not, right? Let's go.
If you really want to leave AEW in the dust, you need to save racism.
Yeah.
With Cody Rhodes. Don't block their shows or anything. You have Cody Rhodes.
Yep.
Go out there and do everything we say.
And then they can finally showcase his wife, and she can come out and annoy everybody. She's really good at that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, nobody liked her. People really complained about her, man, back in the day. Oh,
I remember I wrote that it should be illegal for her to get like 50 feet near a wrestling ring. And then Cody Rhodes blocked me.
Cody Rhodes has you blocked too?
Not anymore. He doesn't have anybody blocked anymore. And he made that very clear that he does not block anybody. But
he might after this.
But he did. Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised how many wrestlers got me blocked. I'm like, man, I didn't even do anything to you, bro.
Well, they don't like these opinions either. And that's another thing. This is what goes along with the kayfabe stuff. So if imagine I'm getting paid by WWE to play a wrestling character on TV, and I'm still online with my real name, and I'm trying to, I don't get it. I don't get it. Why are you doing that? Why would you put your real name out there? Even just like, I don't even say my real name. I think it's because it's like a part of the gimmick. Why would I fuck that up? I mean, and do I care that much? No. Like Grillo can come on like he did last time and say my name 1,000 times. It doesn't really bother me, but it's just like, I'm not going out of my way to do that because why? It's like,
no.
You're ruining it for everybody, especially the kids. They're all online. They see your real names, and then they're like, yep, she's just another guy that can be replaced by another actor or actress, right?
Right.
Yeah. So this leads me to Bret Hart basically saying these wrestlers these days, especially on AEW, they're actors. They're not wrestlers.
I agree 100%. Bret Hart, in my mind, is 100% correct in almost everything he's ever said. So I back him up in anything he did. He made a lot of good points, and it's totally true. These people aren't wrestlers.
What do you think, Reezy? Do you think it was a fair shot? Because that was a shot.
Oh, it was definitely a fair shot.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely a fair shot. And he's not lying. A lot of these wrestlers, I agree, are actors, but people can't be mad at Bret Hart. Here's why. Bret Hart is very old school. He comes from a time where he had to wrestle. People got to wrestle today, but Bret Hart wrestled. Bret Hart is one of the greatest of all time. He just comes from a different decade. So he's not going to understand this decade with all the high flyers and the luchadors and all this stuff. He's not going to understand that. So you can't really get mad at him.
He came from a time where you told a story in the ring.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You didn't come in and do some stupid flips and high spots and then, kick out of pile drivers and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, none of that kick out of every move. He came from a time, like you said, where he had to tell a story in the ring.
After this whole thing, I had to remind myself of how good he was. So I went back and watched that Iron Man match between him and Shawn. And it is one of the greatest matches ever. It's probably, if not number one for me, in top 3. And it's like, It went for 60 minutes. And they told a story every second of the way. That's what he's talking about to me. Because I left that, watching that, and I'm like, holy shit. Like two of the greatest of all time. Just telling a story that was so beautiful and so athletic and so calculated that nobody nowadays comes close to that.
And it looks somewhat realistic, like this should be happening.
Right.
You know, you don't get dumped on your head 3 times in a row and you pop back up and win the match.
Right.
You know, like, okay. So,
and you still got a lot of the stuff that you get today. You got a lot of Sean's high spots. You got a lot of, flips, not like, like a luchador. You got a lot of athleticism from both of those guys, because that was a time that was changing from, the Hogans and the Ultimate Warriors to the more technical and, flamboyant type of wrestling. But it made sense. Mm-hmm. That's the difference. That's what he's talking about.
And I mean, Bret Hart was like making careers too. Look what he did for Stone Cold.
Yeah.
I don't think he gets enough credit for it. I think people know about the match. They're like, oh, that was a good match and blah, blah, blah. But they're like, oh, but the Austin thing. And who knows? I forget if he even came up with that whole spot or whatever, or if it was Bret. But Bret did it. He was in the ring with him to put it over. So he's not one of my favorites because, again, I like people with big personalities. So I'm more of an HBK guy, even though he blocked me online and I probably align a lot more with Bret the Hitman Hart, like on everything. But yeah, it's just you can't deny that he's like one of the greatest. So
that's why I'm loving this year that they're actually doing that, where they're taking matches and putting those into the Hall of Fame, because that match is going in. It deserves to be in there. That was another good match where every second of it was a story. Spots were perfect. You had 2 guys that were very knowledgeable at the time and still to this day, and they came up with shit that was classic.
Yep. And William says, Bret's great, but he gets a little whiny for me. Me too. That is a big deal with me as well. Like this Bret Hart comes out here. Hulk Hogan even said, he in the same interview Bret had this week, he mentioned this, where he says, Hogan said Bret really thought he was the best, and that was his main problem. And Bret was like, yeah, well, that's one of the few lies Hogan had, Hogan isn't telling. Like, that's the truth. But also he's like, look at everybody that's wrestling. Any of the good guys out here, a lot of them wrestle like how I wrestle. Like they're not wrestling like how Hogan or any of these others wrestled. But again, I still think Bret thinks too much of himself. He really thinks he's the greatest wrestler of all time, and he acted like it even when he was in the business. I don't think that helped him any. Well,
let me retract my Bret Hart comments. Because everything he says about the actual art of wrestling, I agree with 100%. Yeah, he does get a little bitchy about the behind-the-scenes stuff, where that's, to me, it's breaking the kayfabe a little bit, where he could be like, well, they weren't doing this for me because of the backstage shit or this and that, and Sean backstage, and he's been a broken record for fucking decades about that stuff. But when it comes to the actual comments about the art of wrestling, like, I think he's pretty spot on.
Yeah. What do you think, Reezy? Is he one of your top guys all time?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Number 1 for me.
Wow. Yeah, that's right. You and the Sleaze. I think he's the Sleaze's number 1, right?
Well, number 2. My bad. Number 2. I got the Nature Boy number 1.
Oh, wow. That's right. You're the Nature Boy guy.
I got the Nature Boy number 1.
So you want Cena to win this year?
You know what? I do. It's time to get that belt off. As much as I don't want to see a 17-time, we got to get that belt off Cody. We have to get that, so I'm willing to sacrifice Cody.
Wow. Wow.
See, I got 2 separate lists. I got the overall, like, product wrestler list. You know what I mean? Where I got, like, Stone Cold as my number 1. Total product and all that. But then I have the wrestling side. Like, who's the actual technically best wrestler? I think Bret Hart is number 1 to me. He's number one in that list. Because Bret Hart is very low on my other list because he was never a good promo. Like you said, he wasn't like one of those over-the-top people. He was very vanilla when it came to doing promos and all that stuff. And as an overall product, he wasn't drawing a lot of money, like a Stone Cold, like a Rock, like a Hogan. So there's two separate lists for me.
Yeah, that makes sense. I also have two separate lists because in my top 10, I don't even have The Undertaker, and people would be like, well, that's crazy. It's my personal list, though. It's who I get entertained when the music hits and all this, the lights hit and all this stuff. Who do I get excited about hearing from or seeing wrestle? That's how I rank everything. And just Undertaker never did it for me. Bret Hart never did it for me. But then if there was, again, there's another list where, of course, they're in the top 10 all time.
Yeah.
It's obvious.
And that's what a lot of these IWC, AEW fans can't see because they'll go to the grave saying, nope, Kenny Omega, best of all time.
Yes.
But he comes out with the most boring bullshit, cookie cutter, just fucking promo. You know what I mean? He doesn't draw a dime. Fantastic wrestler. I won't ever take that away from him. But when you come to the big product, like, is he selling as much merch as like Seth Rollins or The Rock did? Or is he selling out arenas? That's not happening for him.
Yeah. With the Kenny Omegas, of course, it's one of those things. Yeah, I'm not saying he's a bad wrestler, but I don't care. There's a lot of good wrestlers now. The Kenny Omega style, a lot of people can do that now.
Yeah.
Any of these people there's so many friggin' wrestlers that they have. They're all gymnasts and football players and this and that. If you can remember, we did this whole bit like a month ago or so, where I'm like, is it really that hard to wrestle? Is it really?
Right.
It's just learning dance moves and being athletic enough to like jump and run and like do basic shit that any athlete can do. So, look, MJF's out there. Does he look like a professional athlete? Of course not. He doesn't, not to me, unless he was like a random baseball player, which fat guys can be baseball players. So,
And if you had a guy like MJF that was behind, a better machine and a better creative team, he's a guy that will sell merch, sell out arenas, because he has all that. You have to have 100% of that. You can't just have the wrestling side.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have a guy, I mean, I don't want to shit on him, but The Miz is fantastic on the mic. Okay, but his wrestling portion doesn't really draw anything. Yeah. And that's always been his problem to me, is that you have to have balance, just like Mr. fucking Miyagi said.
Paint the fence.
Yeah. Fucking sand the floor. Do something.
But there's a pay-per-view. I don't know if it's happening this weekend or whenever. Maybe it already happened. But Omega Speedball and Ricochet are taking on each other. And woof. I heard promos from all three of them, and they're all bad. All bad. I'm sure it's going to be a heck of a match, right? But holy shit, man. Just put The Miz in there. Let him go over there just to talk this match up.
So just compare that to the triple threat that's going to main event, WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You got CM Punk, bona fide fucking legend. You got the tribal chief, and you got Seth Rollins. So just compare those two, IWC, and what's going to draw the most money, what's going to sell the most merch, what is going to make you jump out of your seat, what's going to do all that stuff compared to that fucking Ricochet bullshit triple threat.
Oh. All right, switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about this Tiffy stuff. This is the hot stuff right now. Well, earlier this week, before we get to it, let me crinkle some more papers for everybody first. So I can be professional. But Charlotte, yeah, she came out. She cried over her divorce from Andrade on a show this week. Called herself a failure. Like, oh, no, I failed again. And she was in a bad place because she was out of wrestling and rehabbing and all this stuff. I told you. Listen, Dr. Huge strikes again. I don't know if anybody remembers, but I was on Twitter when she was basically, her and Andrade were like love bombing each other, and they're posting pictures of each other every single day online. Like, look at us, we're in love, and we're in bed now, and now we're in a jacuzzi, and now we're eating dinner, and now we're working out together. And every time they did it, I was just like, this shit is gonna end bad. It's gonna end bad, and it's gonna end soon, and it did. And I don't know. Maybe she's gotten it by now. As Tiffy Time said, she's 0 for 3. Maybe it's sunk in that there's some kind of an issue here that, listen, how many times are you going to touch a hot stove?
Yeah.
That's all I want to know.
Yeah.
Right. So, so that happened. And I don't know. I'm just going to speculate here a little bit because I don't know anything. And I know people love the drama talk and all this. So Charlotte divorced Andrade, which is generally what happens. I think women initiate like 80% plus of the divorces in the country. But what are the odds that this was probably because they're in different companies? They're both wrestlers, and I'm just assuming, speculating, allegedly he was banging a bunch of hot chicks in AEW because he's Andrade.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I think your speculation's probably right, hypothetically.
Yeah.
In a boxing ring.
What do you think, King Reezy? Or do you think that maybe she was fooling around on, or it had to be something like that? They didn't, or
I think it could be. I'm not saying it's true, but it can definitely be something that sounds about right. But it also could be Charlotte, because Charlotte has not had a good history with her marriages.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, she's been divorced twice before Andrade. Somebody correct me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you let us all know.
And both of them were wrestlers, were they? Or maybe one. But anyways, yeah. So she hasn't had a good history herself. So this can also be a Charlotte thing. But as far as Andrade goes, that sounds about right too. That could be possible.
Yep.
Also, we also got to remember the rumor that came out where I don't know if this ever confirmed that Andrade wanted kids, and we haven't seen Charlotte pop out any kids. Maybe she can't have kids, or I'm not putting it out there. I'm just saying. So I mean, there are some things that's out there. Hopefully, this gets situated because they are both in the same company, and we all know what happens when you're dating a coworker. One person usually has to, and this doesn't look good for Andrade, because whether he's in a right or wrong, we know what side WWE is going to choose.
Oh, yes. This is not good for Andrade. When I heard she was coming back, as soon as I heard that, I was like, ooh, for Andrade. Ooh.
Woo! Oh, they're both on the same show, too, which doesn't help.
Yep.
So maybe they move Andrade to fucking Raw just to.
I don't know. WWE seems to do this type of stuff. I know it was the Vince days, but remember they would split people up that were together, even like Alberto Del Rio and Paige. But yeah, this situation is not. It doesn't seem too fun for Charlotte. She, I told everybody she was going to be upset about things. I forget what I was saying. I think it was another speculation, but it seems like pretty obvious common sense type stuff where I'm like, whether she initiated the divorce or not, she's going to be like upset about it. And especially if he's around on the same show, like you said, and, he's Andrade. He's like this muscular Latino. He's going to be smashing everything in sight over there. It's a traveling circus. I don't know if the young guys know this. I'm sure you do, Sleaze. Or Reezy, I don't know if you're young enough. You might not know this. If you are just around a female, that's why the work thing again. If a woman is just around a guy long enough, that's all you need. You don't need to be handsome or rich or anything. You just need the time alone with them enough to just win them over. That's all it takes. So like these marriages within the WWE where it's a traveling circus and they're around the same people all the time, shit's going to happen.
There's a lot of alcohol and a lot of weed and whatever else.
Yeah, whatever else, right? Somas, right?
Yeah. Bath salts, all that.
Yeah. Mac Diesel says she took out those XXL bolt-ons. and he was sad. Yeah, that could be it. And she got
Should've-
really, really skinny.
She should have put him in her ass.
She's like almost looks scary skinny, like she's having an eating problem or something.
Yeah,
Let's hope that's not the case.
I don't know what happened. She's always been like a lanky girl, but it's gotten bad. She's like 120 pounds.
I mean, she's very muscular, but that's because there's like zero fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, Tiffy Time came out. Everybody saw the promo. Tiffy Time nervous as hell. You could tell the whole time through it. She was very nervous, and probably because she knew she had a nuke in her back pocket. I don't know if she had to use it, but she did because, of course, Charlotte, again, like she's been this whole angle, has kind of been a douchebag. And I get she's the bad guy, but she's doing things, like how MVP was basically fucking Big Bill last week.
He fucked him right in the face. I almost felt bad. Like, that's how bad that was.
He couldn't even do his promo. So then basically Charlotte's been doing this type of style of like, oh yeah, well, look at you all nervous, and I'm going to even make it worse to make you look bad. And then Tiffy Time hit her with the, you're 0 for 3 in divorces or whatever, and your marriages, and she threw the microphone at her feet and rolled right out of the ring. I thought that was like the funniest part to me because you could tell she was getting ready to nuke her, and she's like started stepping back. Because she's like, Charlotte's gonna try to punch me or something. And she threw it at her feet and then rolled right under the ring. And then of course Charlotte fires back again with the Kaisers in my DM statement, which made her look worse at the end of the day. So
yeah, it goes back to what we've been talking about. Like, everything was good up until Charlotte exposed herself like terribly in this, because my personal opinion is Charlotte took her little hiatus, went through all her bullshit, and mentally she went somewhere, because she came back. She never had the confidence she did. And she was totally exposed during the booze, where she literally just had that little shitty ass fucking look on her face. Like, I can't do anything right now. I'm totally fucked. And Tiffy fucking exposed the shit out of that. And I think on a personal level, Charlotte went totally off script and was really pissed off. And that's that fourth wall shit that shouldn't have been touched. Because, yeah, behind the scenes, we know she's dating Kaiser. But it's never been spoken about and da-da-da. So that's why it was taken personally. Like, even though Tiffy came out and said that stuff, the reaction that Charlotte had just made her look terrible.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Reezy?
I've been saying this, and I'll keep saying it. Everything Sleaze says is right. The problem is that a lot of these, I'm not going to say a lot, some of these wrestlers don't understand that they're on a TV show. And if you got some stuff going on, a lot of times when you're shooting promos back and forth, you got to be ready to clap back. You got to be ready to clap back. And I just think that caught Charlotte off guard. And she just got unprofessional and just went after Tiffy. I don't blame Tiffy for this. Tiffy's a young talent that's trying to make a name for herself. So she's going to go out her. This is a nasty business. You have to go out your way. Even if you got to go below the belt. She had to go out her way to do that. And Charlotte should have understood that. And Charlotte should have came with something better.
Charlotte, being the veteran she is and the 15-time champion and all the accolades that she has, it was very amateur. Like, I was so fucking disappointed. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is what she came back. She could have just shut the fuck up and let Tiffy have her time. And I think it was like a personal girl on girl thing. Like, oh, you're the new pretty girl. You're going to say that? Well, fuck you. I'm going to say this too. So unprofessional. So unlike somebody that they put up on a pinnacle. Like, to come back after how long to win the Royal Rumble, to go after the belt, and that's your reaction? That's your professional reaction to that. I know you are, but what am I? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's felt like this the whole time. Like I said, I feel like this whole promo was she brought it on herself.
yeah.
Like, so she's been being a jerk this whole time. Like I said, we understand you're a heel, but there's also a professionalism and a back and forth. Like, we saw CM Punk and Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns get in there the other night, and it's like, it's your turn, it's my turn. Okay, CM Punk's gonna come out. They wait for him to come out. It's his turn. And it's very succinct where Charlotte's always interjecting to try to fuck Tiffy over because she knows she's a rookie. She knows she's prettier, younger. She's the new, like, the flavor of the month to Charlotte Flair, and she wants to, like, shut that down and get rid of that. And guess what, Charlotte? People like Tiffy. You know me. I was a huge Charlotte fan this whole time. I think all the championships, and she's good on the mic. Even last night. Was it unprofessional and stupid and all this? Yeah. But that's what I'm here for. Like, that's what makes her one of the best, because she doesn't care. She's supremely confident in what she's doing and what she's saying, even if she's wrong. So that makes her top tier in my book. But still, does it make her look good? No. It doesn't make you look good at all, even as a bad guy. So
It was an equation to, like, you saying, all right, the Sleaze, you're an asshole. And I go back and go, yeah, well, you're a dick face.
Yeah.
That's what it was like for me.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, she was married to NWA Latimer. Bram, believe he was called too.
Yeah, he was also called Brown. And she was either engaged or married to somebody else. I think I could be wrong. But I do want to say this before we get off the Tiff subject. I do think Tiff needs to win. The reason I think Tiff needs to win is because you brought this young girl up from NXT. She's won the belt, and she hasn't even been on the roster for a year. So apparently you want to build her up and make her into something. So Charlotte, as being the veteran she is, should put Tiff over. I mean, it's the business. I think Charlotte should be the bigger person. I know she's the better wrestler, but Charlotte should be the bigger person and put Tiff over to help Tiff get that push up.
I'm with you. She's got to win this one. I mean, if Charlotte wins, it's just for what? Just to give her another title reign to get closer to Dad. That's what it will be.
Yeah, it's gonna taint her in the eyes of everybody more than all the stuff she's doing right now. To me, is tainting her. If she wins that belt, I don't know what direction you go in. Yeah, and it makes Tiffy look bad. Like in the beginning of this, you could tell Tiffy was the newcomer. She was getting fucking eaten alive and all this. I feel that she's been growing every single week, and that's what this should have been: a veteran person helping out this person to bring up. But I don't know if Charlotte's fucking ego or mental state could take that.
It seems like she hasn't been helping at all. She's trying to tear her down as best she can with her position,
Right.
But I don't think, I don't think it's working. And who knows? Maybe she's pissed because the word is that she already knows she's going to lose. That could be it too. But yeah, there's a few other things that Tiffy was talking about with her. I love how she ramped it up till the end, right? So, like, that's what I'm saying. Maybe she didn't have to say the whole end part, depending on what Charlotte did. Maybe it was always scripted that way. But she started with, you can't win the crowd over and you'll be in Daddy's shadow forever, which, of course, Charlotte was like, oh, you always say, everybody says that. It's the John Cena thing, which is also tired. It's like, oh, yeah, you're crying. Well, now I'm crying because you're crying. Get it? Like,
yeah.
She did one of those, and then she ramped it up again. This was another great line. When you were playing volleyball, drinking in your daddy's basement.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Yep. And
I think that she just had better lines, and Charlotte knew it, and the crowd was shutting her down, and Charlotte just 100% came out of character, and she was like, well, fuck face. you know, and she, because she knew she was fucked.
And she exposed herself this week in that interview, like I said before. It's like, so you gave her all this ammunition to now use against you. It's like, that was what a bad idea leading up to WrestleMania to do these podcasts and give them any juicy bits.
And that's what did it too. You're absolutely right. She should never have gone on that show. Never gone on any shows saying, this is why I'm getting a divorce and this is what happened. It makes you look weak. You're supposed to be a fucking heel. You know, you're not supposed to have fucking all these emotions and divorces and all this crap. So, of course, Tiffy's going to take all that shit and throw it right back in your face. It was a dumb decision on the outside.
It was dumb. It was dumb. And I just want to chime in and say, you would think somebody at the status of Charlotte would have just the I don't even know the word, to not go off script on a TV show. Go on a TV show on.
Whoop.
Uh-oh. He's disappearing, guys.
I get what he was saying.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
All right. No, I was just saying you would think she'd be smart enough to not go on a TV show or talk show or whatever she was on and air all that personal stuff out if she knew it was going to affect her. You know what I mean? If you know you're an emotional person and you can't take the hit back, don't do it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Excellent point. Excellent point. 100%.
It was stupid.
Like I said before, she's emotionally wrecked. And this like literally handed Tiffany all the ammunition she needed. Like, I think if she was smart enough, she knew, like, oh my God, she came back. She's not the same. She does this podcast or shows or whatever. I'm taking all this and right back in your face. And it was great.
That was brutal. And like I said, this is some of my favorite stuff. Like I said, I don't care too much about the real life drama, but I do like when they take real life drama and put it on TV in character form. It just brings a whole nother element of what's real. I don't know what's real and what's not. And that's how I want it.
Yeah.
It's exactly how I want it. I don't want to know what's going on. Again, I know I'm watching zombies on TV when I watch The Walking Dead, everybody. I get it. And guess what? I don't think it's real. So when all these dumb fucks are walking around going, oh, do you know wrestling's real? Do you understand what's going on? It's like, you know how stupid you sound? Come on.
Really stupid.
Sounds so stupid. Like when I'm going to go to the movies in a couple months and go, you know, that's not Dr. Doom. That's, who's that actor? You know,
Robert Downey.
That's Robert Downey Jr., you dumb fuck.
Yeah.
I'm going to scream that right into a kid's face.
You dumb fuck.
You dumb fuck. He was in another movie I saw.
Oh my God.
Yep.
You dummy. You thought it was real.
That's right. I believe all this is real. I believe, you know, Cody Rhodes was dropped on his head. I believe that Randy Orton was dropped on his head, needed time off. I believe that Sami Zayn was dropped on his head and needed time off. And it was all done by the guy that he's going to go get neck surgery now because he's dropped so many people on their heads, Sleaze. That's how wrestling works, because I don't understand that it's a show.
I can't wait for the day that we figure it out. I can't wait until that light bulb just, goes above both of our heads, all three of our heads, and we just figure it out,
So how about that? I heard a little rumor about this yesterday morning, and then it happened. Kevin Owens came out and wearing his Bret Hart gear. You know how all these marks, they love wearing their Bret Hart stuff. They come out. That's another thing about modern wrestling we could talk about in the future, how everybody's a mark. But, Kevin Owens comes out looking like FTR and and basically tells everybody, yep, I got a neck injury and I need to go get surgery and I'm out of, and I'm just thinking, I don't think it's funny. I think it's ironic, which irony is a little funny. He's been dumping everybody on their heads for months, Sleaze. And now he literally came out there and told me last night he's going to get neck surgery. And you know what this is from, right? This is from the ladder match with Cody Rhodes.
He came out and said it wasn't. He said it was from a match, and I haven't figured it out yet. A match from January. So I don't know what match he had. I can't recall. But he was just on a show saying
When was that ladder match? That was January, wasn't it?
Was it? I don't fucking know.
I believe, wasn't that a Saturday night main event? Oh, the Royal Rumble.
Was it the Royal Rumble?
Yeah, I think it was January. It was one of the championship match during the Royal Rumble, I believe.
I know this fucking my old brain. I can't.
Is you still with us? No, he's not with us.
I'm still with you.
Oh, he is with us. He is. So when did that Kevin Owens? You know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna look it up.
Yeah, let's fucking Google it.
I'm looking.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, while
my brain.
you're looking it up, my question is: we know Jacob Fatu is fighting LA Knight for the U.S. title at WrestleMania.
Right.
What is Solo gonna do? Because they've pushed this guy and tried to do something with this guy for a while now, and now he's been overshadowed by Jacob Fatu. He has. There's no denying that. And the question is, what do you do with this guy now? Because you have to get him at WrestleMania. You have to do something.
I think it's easy. I think Solo cost Jacob the belt at WrestleMania, and then they go into a program.
That's genius.
Of course, I said it.
That's genius.
Oh, by the way, the ladder match was February 1st.
Right. So what was the match in January that he's...
I mean, it's so close to January. It was February 1st, so I still remember it as January, but that's when that ladder match happened.
Yeah, because he said it was a match in January. Something happened with his neck, and then he was like, don't quote me on any of this because I quickly heard it. It was basically like he knew something was wrong and then went from there. They did the MRIs and all that shit.
Yeah,
don't quote me on any of this shit. This is where my expert analysts, you can't take.
Either way, his neck is legitimately messed up. Did you see him trying to fight with somebody in the audience last night? That
guy, yeah. Some fans are real pieces of shit. The guy comes out and says, I might not fucking basically come back, and I'm going to be out for a while. I don't take this for granted. Said all this fucking shit, and then this dickhead is like, "Oh, you're still the shit." I love that he got pissed and got right in that guy's face too. Good for him. Fucking fans touching people's asses.
Yep.
Is KO really injured?
That's the thing. I got like that too. I'm like, is this actually a work or is it fucking? Because KO.
If it's a work, then it's a stupid work. Because it's like, why isn't he at WrestleMania?
Right.
If it isn't a work, then that sucks. But that doesn't mean we can't give Randy an opening spot. Because I have a theory that Randy might cause Cody the belt. And join,
Rock's group there. That can't be spoken
that
of.
guy. Yeah,
but there's a rumor that in the future after Mania that John Cena is facing Randy Orton.
Oh, guys, do we want to see that for the 25th time?
I might want to see it now.
Oh, okay.
Just 'cause it's been so long. As a farewell
remember
thing.
when we got that literally every month?
Yeah. Right. But now, as a farewell tour thing, I'd like to see it.
And then Randy Orton comes out in here and he hears what KO has to say, let him walk by, for whatever reason. Doesn't make so much sense. Randy Orton should have come out like afterwards, like he didn't know or something. And then got in the ring with Nick Aldis and gave him a diamond cutter. That's what it is.
Yeah, it is.
So, Randy Orton's WrestleMania plans are up in the air. And Kevin Owens is going to get neck surgery.
So if it's a real surgery and Orton came out and did that to Aldis, I'd like Aldis to come back to the ring and start a feud, with Randy Orton and have that in Mania.
Well, either way, there has to be some sort of angle. I've been saying this for years. I know a lot of people dislike the whole authority angle backstage, corporations, what have you. But those are generally some of the best.
Yeah.
Meaning you can fit a lot of wrestlers into these things so they have something to do and a story that's worth a shit. And then, but you're fighting the power essentially. So
Right.
maybe Nick Aldis, this can turn him into the heel. Pierce can be the face over on Raw or vice versa. I don't really care. But one of them should be bad and should really hurt the good guys on one show. And the other one should be helping the good guys on the other show. And this is an opportunity to get into this realm with Randy Orton. Because what's better than like having a wrestler on your side as The Rock? So say you have John Cena and then you have Randy Orton and then you have Nick Aldis or something.
Yeah.
Because he controls literally one of your shows, and a show that is known for The Rock, which is SmackDown. It's like that's one of his lines, SmackDown.
What I would like to happen is the beginning of next week's SmackDown, Aldis comes out, calls out Randy Orton, fucking fisticuffs, all that shit. Aldis says, fuck this, you and me at WrestleMania. And Orton goes into a little heel thing, and that's the match I'd like to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sasha Reigns gets it.
Right. She always does.
I wonder if he can get back in the ring, though. That's the only thing, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't have knees anymore. Sometimes, you know, these wrestlers, they just miss a knee or a hip.
Yeah, but that's
40.
You know, you don't throw him in there with a penta, you know, but
Right.
I think a veteran like Randy Orton that can protect you and all that stuff, even if you're a little bit banged up, you know, put him in with someone like that.
Yep.
But I think that story-wise, that'd be great because it goes with the whole authority thing that we like. And that's a quick way to build this up is just the next 2 weeks, they come out, they beat the shit out of each other. There's no real word said back and forth. You know, like you shouldn't have done that. And he comes out and fucking does it again. And then whatever, people are pulled apart. That's all the shit I like.
Mm-hmm. And then all Nick Aldis has to do is just go in the ring and snuggle Orton for a while.
Yeah.
Just get snuggling and cuddling for a little while with Orton, and the people will feel like it's a great wrestling match.
Yeah. Take an RKO and you're good.
Or, like Sasha Reigns says, they can bring back the blackface to Orton. Is that what it said? I think that's what it said.
I think that's what it said. No.
So Randy Orton's going to do blackface and face Nick Aldis. Got it.
Right.
Yep. Thank you.
I can't think of anybody else that they could fit into this spot right now with Randy Orton that makes any sense besides Aldis. Like if he's going to come out and do the RKO directly after, I really think that's what they're planning, which it'd be good.
Yep. And Coach thought Aldis came to the WWE to wrestle. Nope.
No.
He didn't do that. They had him come back like they had Pat McAfee come to WWE to I don't know, make sandwiches or something backstage, and you know what? He ended up ringside.
Yeah.
Bothering us all. That's right. I'm a lister hack today, Sasha Reigns. Thank you.
It wasn't blackface. It was a Lister Black.
Oh, got it.
Right.
Yep. I knew it. Yeah.
But that would make no sense. I think Alistair comes back after Mania. You know, he's a good talent. I like him, but he's a mid-card guy. I don't think this is let's throw him right into a WrestleMania with fucking Randy Orton.
Yeah, he'll show up. Maybe I could expect him to show up at the LA Knight match against Jacob Fatu or something, you know, if he were to.
Right. A match right off. He's not that guy.
Yeah.
Yet, because they have big plans supposedly for him to push him to the moon. But I think it'd be a bad way to introduce him.
How about this guy?
It's Rusev Day.
He's re-signed. He was at Stamford, Connecticut, where the pussies live, as Del Rey says. And
small dick.
Yep, he's back in the WWE. When is he gonna show his face again? Are we gonna get Lana? Are we gonna get Aiden English back? Was Rusev Day coming back? Maybe.
It would be so good. I love that whole fucking run. It did not get old to me. I loved it. Again, I think they just signed him, so he's not a WrestleMania unless he, like you said with Alistair, maybe he interferes in a match. That's how he does it. But yeah, I'm glad he's back.
What do you think, Reese? You like Rusev Day?
Please no. Listen, Rusev Day is in the past. I love Rusev Day, but it's in the past. I just think it's in the past. But if they're gonna bring Rusev back, my thing is, what do you do with this guy? They already have a loaded roster. Whose spot is he gonna take? Because you know he's taking somebody's spot.
Mm-hmm. What if you have him come back with Lana, and then Lana starts banging Omos?
or she starts banging Andrade.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's interesting. But I've heard some people say he may align with Gunther, but it's like
that'd be great. That'd be great.
That'll be. I mean, a new Imperium.
And you have Lana come back with her fucking accent. That would be. They
gotta bring Lana back with her accent. They have to. They have to bring Lana back with her accent.
Yeah. She left sad too. Like when on her way out with that, remember she had saxophone music? That song from they sound like it was from 1990.
Yeah.
Woo. And then she come out dancing like, I'm a dancer, guy. It's like, okay, we get it. You're not 10 years old.
Yeah.
You know, like, what was that? And then you remember she was trying to steal Rusev Day from her husband, calling it Lana Day, and it was just it wasn't banging like Rusev Day was.
No, that was a Vince abomination that had a good story and then just bombed.
Terrible. Doing pirouettes, Lana Day. Like, get out of here.
No. I don't even think we need Lana, to be honest. If you don't have her coming back with the accent, which it's been so long, they already changed her to English. They're not going to go back to that.
Well, you never know. Look what they did to Apollo Crews.
Well, yeah.
I just make her Russian again. Make them both Russian. You know, have them laser that Bulgarian tattoo off. No more Bulgarian brute. And then put a real Russian tattoo on him. You know, put a Russian tattoo on Lana's face or neck like Cody Rhodes. Then we'll all know what's going on. At least.
They need to bring all that Imperium stuff back. You know, we love factions. I think they bring all that back with Rusev, Lana. Get the bloodline shit going again, or think of some other.
Yeah, the bloodline stuff is like dead. It's
dog shit.
Dead right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they got Jacob Fatu's going for the Intercontinental title, and that's pretty much it. I mean, even Roman Reigns, the OTC here, he's barely showing up. You know, nobody cares about that. And yeah, it's just the bloodline stuff. It's over, and it should have went out with a bang. It went out with like a whimper. Like nothing is really. What happened? Roman beat Solo.
And that was it.
And that was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
And then everybody just faded away besides Jacob Fatu.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they do this with Imperium. If you're not going to bring back the bloodline, restart Imperium, introduce Rusev, have them run a train on the whole fucking roster. Because you know that Gunther is losing the belt. You know that's happening. So they need something for him after Mania, and this should be it. Or he's gonna get lost in the fucking shuffle, I'm afraid.
No. And then we have another newcomer. We have the Ray Phoenix, who showed up last night. He faced off against Frazier from Fraxium. It was a good match.
Yeah.
Again, I'm just like, there's too many masked luchadors in WWE. And there's starting to become too many of them in wrestling, and I believe it's because this futuristic wrestling, as Reezy said earlier, it's more like a video game, and these wrestlers, they're not old school like the Bret Hart's telling stories in the ring. It just flips, and I'm jumping out of the ring, and, you know, same thing over and over and over again.
I just don't understand. If you're going to bring Phoenix in, why didn't you put him with Penta? Because that could have been the biggest tag team right now. And if you're starting to regenerize fucking the tag team division and shit, I don't know why he's on SmackDown and Penta's on Raw. I mean, I see Penta right now because he's really hot being a singles person, but that's going to fizzle out real quick. I believe. I don't think those people, like back in the day, like Rey Mysterio being by himself, that was a big deal because he was the only one around. But I don't think a lot of these lucha guys can do it on their own, to be honest. But if you had them as a tag team with both of their fucking explosive heat right now, like that would be a moneymaker. I don't get the choice of the SmackDown.
I think they're just giving it a shot first. What do you think, Reezy?
Oh no. Everything Sleaze has just said is 100% correct.
It always is.
It made no sense to debut. No disrespect to Phoenix, he did great on his debut, but it made no sense to debut him by himself on SmackDown instead of Raw. We know him and Penta are brothers. Duh. We know they were a tag team called the Lucha Bros. Duh. You know your tag team division needs help. A blind man can see that. So you would think you would put those two together and help build your tag team division again. It makes the most sense. And it's just like you said, Sleaze, nowadays, luchadors, and it is just luchadors, it's a lot of people by themselves. It isn't working out for them. But you put them as a tag team, it works. So there's some people on the card today that'll work better in tag teams.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to milk it. Like they're dripping everything these days. I see what they're doing. I don't have to like it, but they're splitting them up. They essentially have the same entrance. They had the spinning, flame thing in the background and all that.
They have the same. Yeah, they have the same logos, everything. So yeah. I do believe what you said is that I think they're going to milk Penta for a little bit longer, and then eventually they're going to put them together.
I think
it makes sense.
They see it as selling merch. So are you going to sell more merch as them together as a tag team or them individually first? Right. Then let that fade out because it will, and then they'll put them together as a tag team, and then they'll do it all over again and make more money.
Right. So, that makes sense. It does.
Sasha Reigns. Okay, so question about Ray. Why isn't he in a tag team with Penta? Because they can't let him wrestle with every luchador that comes through. What is he going to be wrestling with El Grande Americano next? He can't do it with everybody. He's got Dragon Lee he's trying to put over, and Dragon Lee great in the ring, but he's a dead cat, charisma wise. He's just out there. And that's the thing. I'm just there's starting to be a little too many flippy wrestlers for my taste popping up and becoming like mainstream in the world. I don't mind a luchador or two here and there, but oh my goodness, like I seen Legado Fantasma, whatever his name is, last night, and I'm like, he's like a manager now. He's got two other Mexican dudes he's like managing at the moment. Then you got the LWO and all them dudes. Then you got, two more masked luchadors showing up. El Grande. We got white guys luchadoring it up out here. Like what's going on? Everybody's a freaking luchador all of a sudden. I turn on AEW, they're putting hot chicks in luchador masks. I'm like, cut it out.
If they want to do it right with all the talent they have right now, start another show that's like Lucha Underground. Have all those guys in there because there is a fan base for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just they get lost in the shuffle when they're on the main roster or just trying to have the right words for this.
Always cool for a month, know, and then that's it. Unless you're Rey Mysterio, and that was because, all right, he's Rey Mysterio first of all, so he's like one of the greatest luchadors, but he also looked really tiny, and that was the appeal of it. All these other guys, they're normal sized, and they just they're wrestlers with masks on, which means they're actually more boring at the end of the day, especially to anybody over like 10 years old, because you can't see what they look like.
Right, but like we've been saying, if you put them in a tag team together, right? It's the only lucha tag team they really have.
Right.
So you have that uniqueness. It'd be good for the tag team division. And it seems like they're going in the way where they're trying to focus more on that. But if you have like the War Raiders against, the Lucha Brothers, that's something new. You know what I mean?
And if you guys need to leave at any time, go ahead. I might be going long today. I have so many notes. So many notes.
You got me here. But I want to add to that and also say that, I think right now this, whatever this guy's name that Chad Gable was playing, it's hurting him. It's hurt out. WWE, you should notice, it's hurting him. Nobody likes this. This is
I actually like it. It's just I see your point 100%. I liked it. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, but I mean, it's at a point where how long is it going to go? Because Chad Gable, there was a point where he resigned, they made it seem like they were going to push this guy and do something more serious with him. And I just kind of feel like right now, the way his career is going with WWE, I just don't see them giving him a big push other than something that's more comedic.
I think,
and it's not, and I get it. I get it. The guy's not that great on the mic. He's not great on the mic at all. He's a great wrestler, but he's not great on the mic at all. But I mean, they got to figure out something to do with him.
I think, like you said, you nailed it. He's pigeonholed himself into the comedy role because he did well with Alpha Academy, and also when he was getting at his biggest push almost ever, going up against Sami Zayn and Gunther and all this, he got this close to the IC title and he never won it. So he didn't even get to hold a mid-card title. So they relegated him to, he is at best a hair away from getting the IC title, and at worst, or what he's going to be now, is going to be just a relegated to the lower card comedy act where Orange Cassidy should be. But on that show, Orange Cassidy is in the main events. When I understand that Gable has also been in main events, but like I said, that was when he was this close to getting his first like main title. On the other hand, the other guy already had main titles and has had belts on him other than tag team titles and stuff like that. So that's where he is. And I'm actually good with it because there's so many wrestlers now in all these spots. He actually has a spot on the main roster that means something. And I think he does well enough. He's shorter. He's not as intimidating to the kids. Maybe that's a part of the reason too. I don't know. I'm trying to come up with anything that makes sense of this because I think he's a good wrestler. I think he's decent on the mic. It's just, I don't think the business there sees it the same way.
Oh, it's one of those things too where when you're good at something, they don't want to change you into something else. Like Jim Carrey is fucking hilarious. You know what I mean? But he's done serious movies, but nobody wants to see Jim Carrey in a serious movie because he's so good at comedy. And it would say the same thing happened to Kurt Angle. When they started doing comedic shit with him, people loved that. So it was hard for him to transition in WWE back to like a serious, thing. Actually, he was sort of comedic from the moment he came out. And it wasn't until he got into like TNA where he could be taken seriously as like, okay, I'm not doing the comedic shit that much. It's a hard transition. Once you're good at comedy, it's like people just want to see that shit. And he's good. He's
the Herman Munster stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was classically trained and went to acting schools and all this stuff. And then he's cast as Herman Munster, and that's all he's ever known for ever since. Yeah. He's like all bitter about it.
Yeah. Once you're Anakin Skywalker, you're Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
And I'm happy you said that. It's kind of like Mark Hamill. There's a reason Mark Hamill is mostly known for doing voiceovers, because once he was Luke Skywalker, he was always Luke Skywalker.
Right.
Yep.
So
when people see him, they go, if they're not talking about some voiceovers he did for an anime, they're saying, oh, that's Luke Skywalker. Nobody really knows any other movies he's in.
He's never won awards for being Luke Skywalker, but he's won a couple of awards for doing voiceover.
There you go.
He was a great Joker.
Yeah. Probably one of the best.
Oh, here's another thing. This whole Rhea Io Bianca angle. So we already knew it was going to be a triple threat. I don't mind how they got here though, because at least they gave us some kind of an old school. Okay, you're going to be the referee of the Rhea to Bianca to be the ref of Io and Rhea. Ended up being a good match. I'm telling you, Io Bianca is something else. Io Rhea is okay. In my opinion, like for some reason, it's just not as good. Io and Bianca alone is a fucking 5-star Meltzer all day. So do I blame that on Rhea or Io, right? I'm leaning more to Rhea because, it's if she's working perfectly with somebody else, how come she can't do it with you? That's all I have to say about that. But I think as far as what they're doing with this angle, they fixed it. They're doing the same thing, but I think they got there in a more clear, concise way than I expected.
Yeah, I agree. I just still have this shit taste in my mouth from the whole contract signing and
that was stupid.
Yeah, where we're at now, if you could erase that, fine. As much as I don't want Rhea Ripley in this match, the way they're doing it is good.
Mm-hmm. Rhea Ripley just got that thing about her, man. It's just like the Cody Rhodes thing.
Yeah,
their music hits, and I'm like, oh no, and it's just the same thing every time. Somebody else that is better on the mic is talking, and then they interrupt it, and you're just like, shit. And she does it all the time.
And like we've been away from the Judgment Day Dominic crap. Why is she still calling herself mommy?
Yeah,
the whole mommy on top shit. Can we get rid of that?
Mm.
Oh, it's recycled fucking babble bullshit.
Who wins that match?
Bianca. That's the only way it makes sense.
I'm thinking the same thing.
Yeah. And I'd want her to turn heel after.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Reezy? You think it's Bianca's time again?
You know what? I think it'll be very interesting if Io retains.
Yeah.
I think Io deserves this spot. It's been a while since she's been champ. She deserves a better run as champ. I think she needs to retain because, let's be honest, Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair does not need the belts right now.
No.
They are over without the belts. They don't need them.
Mm-mm.
I think if it was a different time besides Mania season that Io Sky had it, it would have been much better. I don't think that I think it should have just been right off the rip. It should have been Rhea Ripley and Bianca. Not taking anything away from Io Sky, but they do this.
This is also a chance.
Right.
I want to think about this, Sleaze. This is also a chance to kind of either reboot or kind of get Damage Control back on the same page, and you know what I mean? Kind of get that.
What's her name? Didn't she just get knocked out again, or she's injured or something? Dakota Kai.
Yeah.
Yeah, she keeps getting injured. She's very injury prone. It's getting real scary. I think they might want to kind of sit her back for a little bit.
Well, she's built like Shotzi. They're like little girls.
Yeah.
They have like twig arms and legs.
I think that's why they sent Shotzi back to NXT.
Mm-hmm.
Because she kept getting hurt.
Yeah, they're just not built to last. They have like female bodies compared to the athletic type bodies,
Yeah.
You can't be running around getting slammed on your girl legs and arms like that in your girl head. That's what it was. Zoe Stark, I think, like knocked her unconscious with a drop kick.
A drop kick of all things. Yeah. That's when there's a problem. You're doing a very basic move and you get hurt.
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean,
you don't know how to take bumps.
She's in there with that, like I said, that little frail body up against the Zoe Starks and Shayna Baszler's. Good luck.
Yeah. But Io Sky, she's like 5'1", if that. And she takes hella bumps and she doesn't get hurt.
Yeah. She's more like an acrobat, she's built like a gymnast and does all the moves. She's athletic in that way. Whereas I think the other ones, not saying they're not athletic, like Shotzi and Dakota Kai, but they look frail.
Yeah. That's what I'm afraid with Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
One good bump and she's just going to crumble.
She looked really skinny. I mean, I don't know, whatever. Like, I don't really care what she looks like, but why is she working on, again, ladies, stop working on your faces. You're fine. You're fine. You're better than what you're Michael Jacksoning this whole thing up. You're looking like Lil Kim out here and shit. Crazy. Yep.
She needs to transition into acting. I don't think this is going to get any better. I think going into Mania in this match, I really have a bad feeling that she's not going to perform. I just have it in my bones.
What do you mean she's not going to perform?
I don't think she's going to put on a good match.
Like on purpose almost. Like she's going to want to beat up Tiffy time?
No, I think that she just lost it all around. I don't think she's the Charlotte Flair from 4 years ago. Yeah. I think mentally, physically, I don't think she's Charlotte Flair anymore.
Yeah, well, how about this? I was thinking, Charlotte firing back and all this stuff with the Kaiser statement last night, and it reminded me of the Man recently. Remember when CM Punk cut that promo and had mentioned her for a minute? Not even really anything bad, because it was really all about disrespecting Seth Rollins. But then she came out and was like, "Oh, you're probably sleeping with all the NXT girls," and blah, blah, like doing one of my bits. Yeah. And I was like, wow, that's like not your place to do that. I don't, it seemed like a low blow, even though she might have been offended, same as Charlotte. And is it just like that era of the lady wrestlers where they've always kind of seemed entitled to me, that Horseman group, like Mercedes Moné and Charlotte and the Man, and Bayley, not so much. Bayley's kind of turned into like the natty of the group, where she's like the auntie of all the girls coming up, but the rest of them seem to want no parts of like anybody taking their spots and trying to big time them. They're going to big time everybody else.
Yeah, and it's getting old. You know what I mean? Like half of them get hurt all the time. Mercedes is terrible. I don't know where this. Maybe it was a time where it was the whole evolution time, and they were really getting behind the girls and stuff, and it went way to their fucking heads, and it just won't go away.
Yeah. You remember that time, Reezy? The first this and the first time of this and the first time of that. And
yeah.
That was annoying.
Yeah. We get it, but Jesus Christ. And it's bad for the women's division now, because these girls seem to be a lot more humble, and they have to deal with these fucking veterans.
Yeah.
That are saying, no, Tiffy, you can't have the last fucking word. I'm talking to your boyfriend, DMs.
And could it be because they were called revolutionaries like all the time? Remember, it's like, because again, the first time of this and the first time of that, nobody's ever done this. It's only these 4 women. And it was just like, okay.
Yeah. Trish and Lita did a lot more before them, and you don't see them coming out talking like assholes. You know what I mean? So, in your face, girls.
Will we ever see Asuka back again? Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. Did she have like a major surgery or something? Because she's been gone on forever.
I don't know. I don't know why she's been out so long. That's a good question.
Then she had that month where she was just scared of everybody, and then she came back.
Yeah, that was bizarre too. Like, and now she's all happy, Asuka.
Yeah, it's very strange how all this works. I don't know. Maybe she was being stalked or something, but it wasn't me. So
no, might have been me, but I don't remember.
Kairi Sane. He's out there too. They were getting back in shape, so maybe we'll see him soon. Sasha Reigns.
Yeah.
Oh, we got another Evolution coming in June. You know what? Remember that Evolution pay-per-view with all the ladies? That was a long time ago.
Yeah, rumor has it it's going to be at Mohegan Sun.
Really? Oh, that's right. We talked about that before.
I reported this first before anybody knew. We
got to go. All women pay-per-view. We're going to be there.
Yep. My shirt off.
Yep. I'm going to pose like Andrade does online. And all the ladies to room 3489 or whatever. Almost worked with Alexa Bliss. Almost.
Yeah. Where has she been?
That's another one. Yeah, I think they got her.
That is a
hanging out-
strange.
What's that?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, bro.
No good.
I know. I just said that was a strange one. I just wanted to add in that before the Rumble, there was rumors and people were saying that she may leave. There was contract issues. Remember all that garbage?
Yeah.
And then she returns to the Rumble, and she's all happy. Everybody's like, "Oh, everything is good. It was all false." And then after the Rumble, we forgot all about her. She like disappeared.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
This Alexa Bliss, I think they're gearing her up to join the Wyatt Six. They might have some plans with that. I've heard some rumors that the Wyatt Six and Randy Orton might be doing a thing. So there's that.
Yeah, and I think obviously she has a kid now and all that stuff. Maybe she part of the agreement of coming back, she didn't want to travel to Europe to do all that stuff too. So
that'd be a great thing to put in your clause because I don't want to go anywhere. I'm not trying to leave the country anytime soon or get on an airplane if I can.
Right.
Fucking city buses nowadays. Last time I was on a plane, like everybody's fighting and dropping bags on each other. They're screaming like for no reason, babies. I'm like, where? Like, am I in the middle of India or something? What is this? Is this Trump's America? That's what I stood up and screamed that.
Did I hear a goat? What was that?
Yeah. Where are these chickens coming from? You can't have these on the plane. All right. Well, I got to take a break. I'm going to take a piss. I don't know if you guys want to stay on. Just don't get me kicked off. Don't say the N-word. Stuff like that.
Well, I think I'm going to take off because I gotta eat.
Yeah.
Before I pass out. So
yeah, no problem.
You guys, Reezy, you're running the show right now.
All right, Sleaze, keep up. I'll run the show until you get back.
All right, you want to talk to the people, Solo?
I'm gonna talk to the people. I want to hear everybody's predictions for WrestleMania.
All right, I'm gonna leave this up then. All right, I'll talk to you later, Sleaze. Good game. I'll be back in about 5 minutes.
All right,
later, guys.
Later, man. What's everybody's predictions for WrestleMania? And are you going to be at WrestleMania weekend in Viva, Las Vegas? Let's see some people throw some stuff in there. I'm very interested in WrestleMania this year. We got Jey Uso, Gunther. Who else we got? Jacob and LA Knight. We got some good title matches coming. The Doc's going to be back soon for people that's just not getting here. He's going to be back real soon. The Doc had to go handle his biz. I'm really excited for Mania. I think, I truly think Jey Uso is probably going to be Gunther. I can see Solo Sikoa turning on Jacob Fatu, causing him that championship. I don't see Solo Sikoa being okay with the way Jacob has been talking to him. And knowing Solo in his cockiness, he can probably cause him that championship, which won't be good for Solo. And it's going to make even more better storytelling and very interesting to see Solo and Jacob go at it. That's going to be interesting. I think Jacob, since his debut, has overshadowed Solo. Not just overshadowed Solo, but he's became that guy. There's no argument that Jacob Fatu isn't that guy on SmackDown. Solo thought he was that guy, wanted to be that guy. But see how things changed real quick. So we can see something really happening with that. Now, who else we got? What else title shots we got? We got the triple threat match. It's probably going to be a triple threat match for the Intercontinental title. I'm thinking it's going to be a triple threat for the Intercontinental title. If it isn't already is. Um, that's gonna be a good one. And if it is or isn't, who do y'all see walking out with the Intercontinental belt? You got Heather Goats in here. You going for Roman, Heather? Ooh. You think Roman beating CM Punk? I think Roman's gonna beat CM Punk too. You can't trust Paul. You know you can't trust Paul, Heather. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Okay, Heather. Okay. Oh yeah, I can see Tonga Loa returning too. Ooh, Tonga Loa returning. I can definitely see that. And Jay's winning, but as far as the fatal four way, um, I do see Dom winning. I do see Dom winning the Intercontinental Championship with help from Liv and Raquel. But you know what else I see, Heather? I see Finn Balor. I also see maybe Finn Balor being screwed. I see Finn Balor being screwed and kicked out of Judgment Day. How do you feel about that? I definitely see that happen. I just think right now Finn got a lot of people in the group that around him that's kind of talking behind his back, kind of not wanting him there no more. And I can see why. Finn Balor has been he's been a big reason Judgment Day has not been on track. So yeah, I can yeah. But I see Damian winning. I see Drew being screwed. I see Drew being screwed by somebody. I'm not gonna say who. I see Drew McIntyre being screwed over and Damian Priest winning. Maybe CM Punk. I don't know, but I see something happening with Drew McIntyre. It's not going to look good for him. And Dom should be in it. Dom is a good one. And look who's back. The Doc is back in the building, everybody.
What are we talking about? What do you want to
Predictions.
talk about?
What do
He's
we want
talking
to
about
talk about?
WrestleMania predictions.
Oh, yes.
And what do we think is going to happen at Mania? And Heather is saying she thinks, you know, Damian Priest is going to beat Drew McIntyre. And I said, I think Drew McIntyre is going to get screwed. I think somebody's going to cost him the match.
Imagine that 2 years in a row. Poor Drew McIntyre.
Poor Drew McIntyre.
He can't get out of his own way, this guy.
And, we also was talking about, we think it's going to be a fatal four-way for the Intercontinental title.
Oh, yeah. They love stacking matches like that. We got a triple threat. I think, we got 2 triple threats, a men's and a women's. So, yeah, we're going to need some more because everybody's got to be in WrestleMania, right?
Yeah. I see Dom. I told her, I said, I see Dom. Well, not Dom, my bad. I see Finn Balor being screwed and kicked out of Judgment Day. Because right now, the way these segments is going, especially with Liv, Liv is going to find a way to get Finn Balor out of there.
Mm-hmm.
I see either Finn Balor being screwed or Dominic being entered into this match and Finn Balor being screwed and Dominic winning the Intercontinental title.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
Either way, Finn's being screwed.
Yep. And I believe they are going to push Dom to the moon this year. This is the year, at least this is the period in the year, towards when it get close to SummerSlam. I would be surprised if Dominic isn't getting an intercontinental title or something, maybe at WrestleMania, but he's definitely, you're going to start to see him move up the ranks. I can see Pretty Deadly winning the tag teams at Mania. They could.
Yeah, Pretty Deadly's been on the main roster long enough to, where they should be tagged, where they should deserve a run.
They've never had the tag team championships.
No, they never had them.
Yeah, it's time. But then again, you got the New Day. Do you like the New Day song? The new one?
I don't remember how it sounds.
Yeah, me neither. That means it can't be that great, right?
Right. Sounds. But as far as the New Day goes, people just hate them so much they don't even need the belts no more. They would do nothing. Like, there's no point to even give it to them. They're just funny to watch.
Mm-hmm. And is there more Big E news? I think I read somewhere there was some kind of news. I don't know if it had to do with him wrestling again. I know there's speculation that he's going to be coming back at some point. I don't see it. It's been long enough. I know Edge has come back and Daniel Bryan, but this is different. He was literally dumped on his head. So
yeah, it's been long enough. I don't see him coming back. No disrespect to Big E. I don't think they really need him now. And if he did come back, other than something with the New Day, what would they do after that?
Mm-hmm. How'd you like his title run?
Big E's?
Yeah.
It wasn't memorable, but I mean, it was okay. It was decent. But if you asked me, what was your favorite match, or name a match at all from his title run, I couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't even name a segment. I don't work. It just wasn't memorable.
Would you say?
No disrespect to Big E.
Yeah, he's still good and everything, I think, too.
Yeah.
I have the same take as that, but it reminds me of it's like a Damian Priest run.
Yeah. And you know what, Heather? I didn't think about that. It is Pretty Deadly's first Mania. And I don't think they'll win neither. I do believe we will have new tag team champs, though.
Yeah.
They'll find a way to screw the Street Profits as they usually do.
And we don't even talk tag teams that much. Sometimes I'll keep it out altogether some weeks, but there's actually something worth saying about what's going on with the tag teams on both shows. I think the War Raiders got it locked up on Raw right now, and they've been really pushing SmackDown tag teams to be something, and it's working.
Yeah, I just think there's a lot of... here's what I think will help the tag division. I think there's a lot... WWE has a loaded roster, and I think what will help kind of shorten that roster is there's a lot of single competitors who aren't doing too much, and I think they'll fit better in tag teams, like Dragon Lee. I would tag Dragon Lee and Andrade up.
Andrade and Dragon Lee. Yeah. That could
I
work.
would do that. That could work.
I think one can't have a mask and the other one be maskless. I don't know.
Okay. I mean,
plus,
I get what you're saying, but I can't think of any other wrestlers who wear a mask other than Penta and Phoenix or Rey Mysterio. You know what? They could do Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio.
There's so many Latino wrestlers, and like the LWO is weak to me, right? It's Mysterio, who's an older veteran with, the tag team guys that nobody knows their names and have that one spot move. And then you have Dragon Lee and Zelina. But that's just, they're so mid at best. And then you have the Delgado Phantasma guys. I can never get their names right. I think they released Elektra Lopez, didn't they?
Yeah, their manager.
Yep. So they haven't been too hot lately. But then again, Angel Garza and Humberto, I think they both can go in the ring. And I think they're starting to let them do stuff outside the ring. It just, like anything with this wrestling stuff, if you're going to have people on TV doing anything, they should be going all out, making storylines for everybody. Start making some storylines with these tag teams and up the ante a little bit, make it personal in a lot of ways. And, right now they got them doing junior high type shit to each other. Oh, this tag team lied to this tag team and said they attacked them, but they did. It's just like that's like nonsense shit. Like make it good TV like you try to do with your main roster stuff and your mid card stuff, and people will be more interested. I don't understand what the problem is, Reezy.
Two things. I'll touch on both of those. First thing I'll say is WWE has had a history where they'll do a big storyline for like the world title rival. You know what I mean? They'll do it for one thing but not the other. They don't do it for everybody. They focus on one section. And I think that needs to change. I think what would help is if they had a different booker for each division and a different writer for each division. Therefore, each division, when you see the storyline, it feels different and it balances. That part. But I think, what would you think about this? LWO, I agree, is boring. What if Dom took the lead in LWO and left Judgment Day?
There you go.
That's how you do it. That's how you remove Dom. This is how you get rid of this whole. I would get rid of this whole Judgment Day, but to me, I just think WWE's going to keep rebooting it. So let's kick Finn out, get rid of Dom. Dom goes to LWO. He can save that group.
So do you want Judgment Day like completely defunct? You just want it out of here?
I just want it out of here. I think it's done. Let's get rid of it. But as far as Dom goes, I think he could save LWO. As a heel, of course. But yeah, he could save LWO.
Yeah, and slowly he can kick out those tag team guys. He can kick Zelina out.
Ray gotta go.
Yep. And then he can start recruiting like the Angel Garzas of the world in there. Be much better.
Bring in the Lucha Bros. That's how you do it.
That too.
Dom get the Lucha Bros by him. I would keep Liv only because Liv and Dom work magic together. Those two together, they do magic together.
And every person of color group in wrestling should have one white person in it.
Yes.
Just the way it goes. They just should, because it's, I don't know, it's aesthetically pleasing,
Yeah, so
it doesn't fit, but it does.
It's great. It's great. And I can see, what, hey, Heather, she said she could see Zelina. No, of course. Oh, Raquel? Yeah, Raquel will fit perfect, Yeah, there you go. You already got Raquel. But yeah, you can see Zelina and Chelsea at Rainier. Yeah, I can see that too.
But nobody wants to. I mean, is Zelina really over with everybody?
Here's the problem with Zelina. I like Zelina. But WWE has showed that they're not interested in giving Zelina any type of push than what she already has. Now, when they're in Mexico or Puerto Rico, yeah, we see that big pop. But that's over there. And there's no disrespect to Zelina, but I just think Zelina going to NXT, I think she would do tremendous over there.
She's better off in NXT, absolutely.
Unless we're going to put her in a tag team and rebuild this women's tag team. But then again, who will we tag her with? She would have to be with somebody.
No idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Partner her back up with Andrade. That worked.
Yeah.
That's what they should do.
Well, they're probably going to put her with her husband. Actually, when he comes back.
Yep. And then she can show her leg tattoos.
Yeah, he can be like, yeah.
I don't know. That's another thing. The Aleister Black coming back. I'm a Aleister hack. I know these things, but he should. I don't know, man. What are they going to do with him? They try.
I don't know. That's the thing.
They go full horror mode. Will they do it? Fiend horror.
Tumble back with this. I would do this. If you're not going to defunct Judgment Day, you can have Aleister Black be that member that they've been talking about bringing in. And he can just take over. And, that would be perfect to Dom to be like, okay, this guy It's scary. He's doing too much. We're gonna get the F up out of here. Maybe Aleister Black is just taking out, just wrecking havoc on the whole roster. And Dom's like, oh no, I gotta get up out of here.
Yeah, it's
I don't
gotta
know.
be. It's just gotta be something darker than whatever they presented before. Because whatever Vince was doing with Aleister Black, it was okay, but it made him more dull. Like, I get how he's not going to say much and he's kind of a dull character, but he looks like a horror guy. He looks like he's into Satanism. Go with it. You know? That's all I'm saying. Because without doing that, if they're going to come in with him being, oh, he's like mysterious, get out of here with that.
That'll be stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope they don't do that. But I just think WWE is bringing way too many people back, and it's kind of like, okay, we got to figure out what you're going to do with these other people on the roster.
Yeah, they're just going to keep creating shows.
Yeah, let's not create too many shows, and let's start taking these guys you don't have any plans for, like the Bertos and the what's the guy Berto used to tag with?
The one he tags with now, Angel Garza.
Angel Garza, the Bertos.
I think honestly, I'm not even shitting you. When I seen Angel Garza wrestling in TNA, doing the whole whipping off the pants bit and everything, I was like, this guy's a star. And I'm usually dead on with this stuff. I did the same thing with LA Knight. I did the same thing with many wrestlers. When I just see him one time, and I'm like, why is he in TNA? Why is he in NWA? I don't get it. But he's got star written all over him. They just got to figure out what to do with him.
He has star written all over him. A lot of these guys could be stars. They just got to figure out what to do with them. I just think a lot of these single competitors, they can just put in tag teams with people and make tag teams because their tag team division is dead.
It's just with Angel Garza in particular. Of course, there's a lot of guys that could eventually get over whatever. I think he hits the mark on so many things. So he can work in the ring. He can cut promos. Yeah, are you too loud on your end? Because I can hear myself.
I'm sorry. That's probably outside my window. Let me move around real quick.
It's just feeding back a little bit. All right, it seems better now.
All right, it's better. Okay, I moved around.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. I think Garza's got it. And of course, they're going to wait forever until they actually give him like an LA Knight push. Like LA Knight's almost fucking 50 years old now. And it's like, you guys could have done this like over a decade ago. You already had it. But all right, you're just going to wait forever until, I repeat it over and over. But he's up on that realm, I think, where nobody's really recognized it yet. I think Humberto's good too, but like I said, there's an it factor that I think Garza has. But then again, like I keep saying, there's a lot of Latino wrestlers and a lot of them look the same, and you can't have that. Like, do you really need a Garza and Andrade on the same show? They look the same, and I think Reezy's gone.
No, I'm here.
Okay, but you know what I'm saying, right?
No, I hear what you're saying. I just think, Andrade and what's the other guy with El Phantasmo?
Yeah, El Phantasmo.
Yeah,
Watch Tasma. Yeah.
yeah. That whatever it's called, that group. I just think a lot of those people, they're all doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They all literally have the same gimmick.
Yeah. And
it's like, what are we doing here? So, they're better off sending a lot of these guys. If you don't want to release them, send a lot of these guys. I mean, your partners with TNA. Send a lot of these guys to TNA until you figure something out. Because I bet they'll figure something out with them.
Yeah.
Because they can use them big time.
It's crazy how things have gone. Remember, this is back in the day. This might have been 8-9 years ago. I used to scream every week, get Finn Balor out of here. He needs to go back to NXT. Remember, I would say that every week. And then what happened eventually? He went back to NXT, and it revived his whole career.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I know what I'm talking about, ladies and
This
gentlemen.
stuff will revive their careers if you send them back to NXT. And NXT can use the star power. No disrespect to NXT. But, you know, we already know you're bringing up Trick Williams soon. Because once they lose Trick Williams, I mean...
That's what I don't understand. I'll tell you, you know, I get people like the song. They like to sing along to that and all that. And I think he's good in the ring. I'm not like blown away by anything he's ever done in the ring.
Yeah.
And his promos are okay.
We're
Like,
okay.
I don't think they're exceptional, and I don't think they're bad. I think it's all very just good. I think Carmelo is better in every
Carmelo is way
facet
better
of the
than
game.
Carmelo is way better than Trick Williams. I think it is no disrespect to Trick Williams. I think he's an incredible talent.
Yep.
I don't think he's ready for the main roster.
I think they've blown him up too much.
Yeah, I think there's a lot he needs to work on, and it's very possible that Trick Williams could be one of those guys that come to the main roster, fail, and has to leave and go somewhere else to make a name for himself, and then come back.
So it feels like Swerve all over again.
Yes, That's exactly what it would be.
And what do you think about all that Swerve stuff and the Vlad TV and everything? I'll just real quickly, I don't trust Vlad or any of that. I know what he's all about. So
here's my thing. I think Swerve going on Vlad, doing what he did, was wrong. I think that was wrong on his side. It was stupid.
Because what did he say? Do you remember any of the quotes?
I have to go back and watch it, but I do know he said some negative things about Top Dollar, and he didn't state facts. And I know where he went to say that he got them fired for being too aggressive and other things. And Top Dollar, I kind of believe him. He said, I was just speaking up for Hit Row. And it came out to be true. It has something to do with B-Fab's. B-Fab got stuck somewhere, and they were not going to fly her up or pay for her flight. So Top Dollar said he would do it, and it got into a big argument. It was somewhere in that category. Somebody can come here and correct me if I'm wrong, but it was somewhere in that. And I know he said some stuff about Booker T. And my thing with Booker T is Booker T should have just shut up. Because now Booker T is making himself look like an idiot by going back and forth with Swerve. And it's like, this guy Vlad, my only thing with Vlad is I don't have an issue with Vlad, but I keep saying this. When did DJ Vlad become a wrestling fan? When? I think he's biting off wrestling to get more views and to make more money because hip-hop is kind of beginning to kind of tilt for him. So he needs something, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
To go off. So he's picking the wrestling business because he knows he's the biggest interviewer guy, and wrestlers will go to him.
Yeah, which is, it's insane. They should know better because he's, what do they call him? A culture vulture and all this stuff. He gets everybody to snitch on themselves on these things. He damn well, who knows, allegedly could be a Fed speculation in a boxing ring, TOS. You know, like I don't know. He's just not very trustworthy is all I got to say. And I think he was pissed off because they had a back and forth, Booker T and Vlad online. And Booker T had left an interview, I guess he was supposed to do with Vlad because Vlad was running late. But Vlad's like, I told you I was running late and I did, you know, this and that. And also I got to go with what I know with Y2 Just Incredible without the E, who would come on back in the day. We got to get him on again because he can't stand Booker T because he went to meet him one time. And apparently he was yelling at people and he was acting very much like a diva. So I can see Vlad's angle even like, oh, I had him try to come on this interview and he left before I even got there because I was a little bit late. And now he's going online and saying that he turned me down and that's why I'm angry with him and all this stuff. But that's all like a bunch of silly drama that you said like Booker T shouldn't even be involved with because it's just,
Yeah,
there's
Booker
nothing
T
gonna
has
get
enough
out.
money. He has enough money, and at his status, it made no sense for him to respond
Mm.
and to go back and forth with a young, really young talent that's still growing. And this could have all been resolved. And at the same time, Booker T is making Vlad look like he's making him look good. He's making Vlad look good. Because Vlad, Booker T posted some stuff, some messages, then Vlad posted some messages, and you making Vlad look good. It's like, dude, like, just do your job. Work on your Hall of Fame podcast. And I've met Booker T, by the way. I didn't have that experience. But at the same time, it was really quick. It was like maybe not even a minute. But I don't like this. Because once again, when did DJ Vlad become a wrestling fan? I like DJ Vlad, but when did he become a wrestling fan?
I think a lot of people became a wrestling fan when Netflix started because they knew it was worldwide and they were like, wait a second, this wrestling thing is like everybody's watching it now.
I remember DJ Vlad making fun of wrestling. I can't remember which interview it was. I remember making fun of wrestling, calling it fake, calling it silly. This is some years ago.
Oh, well, they all see dollar signs now. Like we've been here. We were here when it was the shits in the mid 20 teens. Terrible.
But I don't give a shit. I mean, I'm blocked by DJ Vlad anyway. I don't give a shit.
Are you?
Yeah. I mean, apparently the guy doesn't like me. But I mean, it's just the thing with back to Booker T. It's like I watched the episode on Hall of Fame podcast where he's yelling, going back and forth. It's like, bro, you're too old for this, man.
Mm-hmm.
You could have easily called Swerve, because I said Swerve was in the wrong, but you could have called Swerve, got in touch with Swerve, had a conversation, brought him on the show, or even told fans, you could have been more positive about it, is what I'm saying.
Yep. Yeah, it's one of these things where I think I heard something to the effect of Swerve saying, WWE wasn't great for black wrestlers, and maybe it was at a certain time. But all I know is the day I heard that, the night before, I watched NXT, and the whole show is black. The theme is hip hop music. All three people in the main roster spots vying for the title are all black guys. You got black women tag teams. But they're everywhere. So it's kind of like hearing it the day after I just watched an NXT that was primarily black, and it's not even like I even thought of it. I didn't even think about it until I heard Swerve say, and I went, well, what did I just watch last night? And I was like, oh my God, I just watched a whole black wrestling show and didn't even realize it. So I thought that I just don't, maybe it was different. Like I said, maybe when Vince was around or something, but I think this Triple H, Shawn Michaels era with these shows, I don't see them burying black talent. Maybe it happened to him and that's why it's, but I wouldn't put it on a whole race of people.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm wrong. Do you see them holding anybody back there?
Yeah.
Who do you see?
I see we're talking WWE, right?
Yeah. Bianca.
I see Carmelo Hayes.
But he's still kind of like a rookie. It's almost like he's got to go. You almost have to go through a hazing period. Nobody just comes up and is a top guy unless you're Kevin Owens, which was, feels like eons ago.
I see Bianca. I don't think WWE hates black wrestlers. I don't believe that WWE dislikes black wrestlers. I do believe that a lot of times they don't understand different cultures and they don't understand, you know what I mean?
Yeah. If they did, they would have the Fly God doing their themes and stuff like that.
Exactly. I mean, look at TNA. They got the Fly Guy doing their thing. He has a theme song for Slammiversary. Go check that out,
Yep.
people.
They get
But
it.
yeah. I just think that WWE, because you can think in the past, look how they booked Hispanic wrestlers.
Mhm.
You know, look how they booked other black wrestlers back then. I don't think it was done purposely. I just think that they just didn't understand, didn't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think as far as the people that's there now, Bianca's fine, Naomi's fine. R-Truth, I think R-Truth is in the spot. People got to stop complaining about that. I think he wants to be in that spot.
He
I
Chad
just think
Gabled himself.
yeah. I think, and plus, by now, he's been a comedy character for so long. It won't work if he became a serious wrestler now. It's too late for that.
Yeah. Do you think AEW is like a haven for black wrestlers? That's because that's how it feels like they're trying to make it seem.
People are trying to make it seem that way, but there's just a lot of black wrestlers out there now. There's more black wrestlers than there were when we were younger.
See, this is the thing. People don't realize. I've known this, of course, and you have, I'm sure. But like, even growing up in the 80s and 90s, most of the wrestling fans are black people. And I don't think a lot of people knew or understood that. Like, you just look at the Wu-Tang Clan even. You know, that's a whole older generation of rappers. They give themselves wrestling names. You know? Like,
yeah.
It's because it's like ingrained in black culture is like pro wrestling. And I don't think a lot of people actually know this.
They don't.
Yep.
Hip hop, I mean, wrestling has been in hip hop. Wrestlers has mentioned wrestlers. But hip hop has mentioned wrestlers in their, in the culture for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Wu-Tang Clan. You know, we got Tribe Called Quest has mentioned wrestlers at times.
Shaq, you know, and
Shaq.
I mean, he technically is a rapper. But it's just funny. It's like, you know, I would always think back, like any of the kids up back in the day that I was in school with, all the black kids, we all had one thing in common at least, and that would be pro wrestling. We all knew what was going on with that, and then nerdy white dudes, right? And now it's like mainstream. But back in the day, you had to be a nerd or a geek if you were into this stuff.
Definitely.
Now it's cool as fuck, and everybody wants in on it. All the Pat McAfees, all the people that never cared about it before, and act like they did now. That's why I'm against it, Reezy. I don't like it. You probably made fun of all the people that were into wrestling. You never know. Who knows?
Oh gosh, I didn't know who Pat McAfee was until he showed up in WWE.
I didn't even know who he was, and they're like, "Oh, he was the Colts punter." I'm like, "He was? Okay, like a punter." And oh my god, I'm not going to get going on that. You got too much to talk about here.
Too much to talk about, and I mean, right now, oh my gosh, I mean, there's rumors of them getting rid of Corey Graves, but it's just kind of like, why?
Mm-hmm.
You know, why are we getting rid of Corey Graves? I like Corey Graves.
Yep, he got a little too uppity, that Corey Graves. He's like, you really going to put me on the sideline? You're going to relegate me to being the third mic on NXT and give this job to Fathead McAfee? What? I would have done the same thing. But then he, you know, pretty quickly, he's like, I better take those tweets down because I like getting money and having a family and things. Where, you know, me, I would just go, fuck it, I burn it all down because I don't need nothing. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't got nothing, which means I don't need nothing. Actually, a pretty good spot to be in when you think about it.
And actually, Heather, Heather, I can see Roxanne being gone from WWE in about 2 years. I see her gone too, only because
she's 4'8".
Yeah, she's too small. You know how WWE is. How they feel about smaller people, and also Roxanne. I mean, she hasn't done so well on the main roster. We rarely see her on TV. Her matches hasn't been that great. I mean, this feud with Bayley, you see how they kind of made this feud with Bailey disappear. I have a theory, and correct me if I'm wrong. I think they signed, I think they signed Roxanne back when they thought they was going to get Ring of Honor. And when they didn't get Ring of Honor, you know, they just happened to just use her in NXT, and it worked out for them until she went to the main roster.
They seem to love Roxanne, though. At least HBK does, apparently.
Yeah, he loves Roxanne. I think Roxanne's going to go back to NXT. I think they should send Roxanne back to NXT and probably do something with her over there. She could do a lot over there right now.
Except hold the title. She already did that twice.
Tag belts. Put her in a tag team.
Yeah. Yep.
She hasn't done that yet.
It's just crazy how many wrestlers they have. We're talking about Roxanne, who they love, put the belt on twice already in NXT, and now
they got so many wrestlers, mostly single wrestlers and very little tag teams. That's why I say you guys can help this situation by putting a lot of these people in tag teams. That will kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I had people yelling at me a week ago. I'm like, well, the SmackDown tag team division is finally starting to do something. They're making sense of it. I know who's in it. And with the Raw, and people like, oh, the Raw tag team has been the best, though. It's not who cares about the SmackDown tag division? And I'm like, but we got the War Raiders with the titles, which is fine. And they're making them look strong and beating everybody up and all this and being tough guys. But then who else is over there? Judgment Day and LWO maybe, and I don't even know. It's kind of like, let's get this thing going. Let's figure out what is actually happening with the tag. I get that Raw's got 2.5 hours compared to SmackDown with the 3 hours, but if you're going, you gotta at least give us more than showing us the tag champions and like they're tough every week. We don't even know who's in the division. At least I don't. And I'm watching all this shit.
I don't either. I don't know who's in it either.
Mm-hmm. So, oh my God.
I am lost, Doc. So you have a good one. I am lost. Somebody kind of tell us.
We got hard-hitting news here. Did you hear about this whole Chelsea Green dealings? She got some blowback from Trans Day awareness posts, and it just reminded me of on the opposite side, Jada Parker was getting flack for saying that she didn't want men playing with girls in like college sports, or liking a post that had to do with that. So, I think these situations, if we're literally talking about this as a political point in the country, I think that means we're already doomed. So we don't even need to like talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Or pick a side into any of these things, because we're debating like nonsense. That's like debating like the silliest shit ever. So it's like, why even partake in being pro or anti with that? Do you understand what I'm saying, Reezy?
No, I hear you.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's really hard these days because everybody is so sensitive with this cancer culture thing. Everything you say is just offensive to people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just kind of like, we're not hateful people. A lot of people are hateful. I'm not hateful. I'm not a hateful person. If something offends you, something that small offends you, and your reaction is right away to just lash out, you have an issue. I would rather have somebody just be like, that offends me. Can you not say that? Than rather say, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Than just totally lashing out. And it's like, okay, that's not going to make shit any better.
Yeah, it's either or. Like I said, you could be pro and you're going to get the hate. You can be against it. You can get the hate. So why even play this game? You know what I mean? The thing I'm against is people distorting reality. Okay, that's all I'm against. I'm against lying. I'm against fake stuff. And listen, I got my beliefs. I know what's real and what's fake. It's pretty obvious. especially when it comes down to this situation. So do I need to even argue anything about this? No, because I'm living in reality and I don't need to debate other people's realities that are clearly not in alignment with mine. And I don't think I'm crazy. So that's how I roll. You understand? So if you want to be a dual spirited cat from Zimbabwe, go for it. It doesn't affect my life, but I think forcing me to believe that you're a dual spirited cat from Zimbabwe, that does affect me. You see what I'm saying? And that's when I start to play a little bit of defense. So I think that's the best way to explain it, because if you don't understand that and what I'm saying by saying what I think, then you're against freedom, right? That's how that works. Then you're against freedom. You don't want me to be myself. Got it. See how I trapped him mentally. I hope
man, the doc is speaking.
It worked. Huh?
The doc is speaking, man. When
Right.
the doc speaks, he keeps it a bean. He keeps it
If you
a bean.
pay attention closely, you'll understand what I'm saying. I understand what I'm saying I'm being very vague and very
That's why every
obscure.
I shouldn't even say the word podcast. That's just a dirty word nowadays. But everything is different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you listen to our show, we try to be different from everyone else and figure out what we can do different. So therefore, you're not listening to the same show or watching the same show. A lot of these shows you watch is the same show. They try to do the same thing. They bite off each other. They talk about the same thing. So, that's just what we try to put out there. Something different.
Yep. I love the cat defense. Be like, I'm
Cat
a man. I'm a woman, Dr. Huge. And I go, I slap it away. My defenses.
Like, who cares? You're a human being. So
but again, like I said, if you wanna be a fucking space alien, more power to you. You know what I'm saying? Just maybe not teach kids to be space aliens, right? I think let them come to their own conclusions, like you have possibly, maybe, allegedly in a boxing ring. Always in a boxing ring or always in Minecraft, just in case. To get out of lawsuits, Reezy. That's what we do here.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So we talked about Karen Owens. How about this? Are we pro tariffs or anti tariffs? Because this is the greatest picture I've ever seen. I think this is how he gets ready in the morning, for work. He has JD Vance powder some Cheetos on his face. Did Reezy leave?
I'm still here.
Oh, he's still here. I see him now. Yep. Everybody gaze and gawk upon this. Isn't that an amazing picture? This is a picture of Donald Trump sitting in the Oval Office, the main office. I don't know if it's the Oval, but JD Vance is powdering his face with Cheetos, Cheeto dust. Like there's very few like liberal memes that are funny. This is a good one though. So good job, everybody. Because you know me, I don't care. I'm not liberal or conservative. I'm not right, left. I don't give a shit about any of that. I see everything for what it is. Again, I'm playing 60 chess while this guy's playing Cheeto chess. He is very orange sometimes. And then you'll see like behind his ear and his whole neck. Like there are some women that do this too, and their whole neck and behind their head is all white. It's crazy. I did some research into these tariffs, though, William. Anti-tariff in general, but they can be useful occasionally. History has shown Dr. Huge the past few days, since I didn't know what tariffs were. I mean, I understand what they were, but I didn't understand how deep this thing goes. And, everybody else got it all figured out, and I'm like, okay, I see that one side is saying this and one side is saying that. So the truth must lie in the middle somewhere. And I believe it does. What are we going to do? Stay pat as far as economically and all the rest is, with people, other countries are tariffing us and us not doing it with them. And when you think, how I believe about all this, I think that all this is a show, that we're transitioning into the one world government. And slowly but surely, who knows, maybe if they're lucky, they can get everybody on board with the one world religion, but that's like the end time stuff, which I also know about, but I don't believe is 100% true. I think a lot of this is man-made and we're going wherever they're putting us all towards a path to do what they want, essentially, which is to create this whole new system of things. And, I don't like any of that, of course. But again, like the way we get there, it's like talking about pro wrestling again. So am I pro or anti-tariff? I mean, we got to see how it plays out, right? Just with the wrestling stuff, we can like momentarily, the stock market going down or up, depending on where you're at and what you're thinking and what your belief system is and who you're aligned with nationally. But, in general, words, right? Let's just say a lot of words. And again, we'll just see how this plays out. Because, again, staying the way things are is not going to work. And doing this might not work. So, but who knows? Maybe it will work. So raise tag teams. You have Alpha Babes, Down Under, Creed Brothers, New Day, Catch Republic, LWO. That's why I don't know who they are. Thank you, Coach, for doing that work for us and letting us know. But yeah. So yeah, that's what I think about the tariffs. What do you think, Reezy? Are we buying into this and picking a side yet? And
I don't know too much about it. I don't really keep up.
Yeah.
With too much of it. So, this is news to my ears. But,
there was a Liberation Day a couple days ago. That's what they were calling it. And okay. How the government rolls around here. Usually they come up with a catchphrase that usually means the opposite. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. That worried me a little bit. Like if they called it like Day of Hell and then the markets crashed and everything, I'd be like, hey, well, they were honest for once at least. And who knows, maybe it will get better from here. But
hopefully it does. I mean, governments are bad anyways.
No.
Especially, governments
that's
are
ours, Reezy, right? If we like being on the air. So we love our government, right? That's all we have to do.
Yeah, I know, right?
They do no wrong ever, anytime.
Ever.
The best American dream. Don't forget, we got that going on for us. We're going to be on TV someday talking like this. Yeah. Sasha Reigns has breaking news. Hold on. Let's play the song. We got breaking news, everybody.
This is breaking news.
All right, give us the breaking news. We're waiting for it in chat right now. It's about Corbin and MLW. Was he signed to MLW? Maybe. More on that later. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather. Heather, you're awesome. Thanks for we appreciate you.
Yep.
Being a
correspondent.
Yeah, being a constant. You know what I mean? I'm sure. Bet you're a subscriber too. So
that's right. Longtime subscriber, supporter of the Dr. Huge Show, as everybody should be. This is something I need to do more because I watch podcasts and they promote themselves every 5 minutes. I only do it like once every 3 hours. So go support me over here in the show and we can get things going. We can get like, who knows, maybe a fancier mic, fancier things to show you in the background. I might do a video showing everybody just this whole setup. I have a lot more collectibles, but this is just one room of them. Also, check out the Teespring store. Go pick up some T-shirts, some mugs.
Oh yeah, pick up some
Pillows.
T-shirts at the Teespring store.
Damn right. I even put some of the song art that I've done on there. It is AI art, some of it, but I do mess with it. So it's not 100% AI art. What else? Oh, my buddy Grillo from the Howard Stern Show. He's got a book out. Go check that out. Gorilla Parts. Mac Diesel was reading it, I know, in the chat. And he is Maple Leaf Wrestling. Yeah. That's the one that Baron
Maple Leaf? Oh, I'm looking here. Oh, which one is it, Maple Leaf or Major League? Because I'm looking here at Major League that it says
it might be Major League then.
Okay.
I don't know. I have to do my own research, but it is an MLW. So what else do we got to talk about here?
What do we want to talk about?
I got a few more things. If you would like to stay along, again,
of course.
You can leave anytime you like. But what we got this? Oh, Ricky Saints is the North American champion NXT already. Like that was quick, huh?
I think we know why they did that. You know, he's a guy that was on TV in AEW. It's their guy, so they're like, yeah. Promotions do this.
How about that? Ethan Page became champ, and then
Ethan Page is actually fighting for the TNA World Title coming up.
Oh, really? Against who's the champ over there?
Joe Hendry.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I knew Ethan Page was going to be a thing too. Everybody.
Yeah. I used to watch Ethan Page back in the Indies when he was tossing Darby Allin into the crowd.
I remember him when he was a fat guy.
He's fat.
He was fat at one point. And they cleaned up his whole act. He was killing it on the mic in TNA. That's the the first I remember seeing of him. And yeah, I was like, this guy is WWE bound. They eventually got him in there. Championship. Same thing with Ricky Saints here. I wonder how long that's going to last, though. All these AEW guys coming over with, Penta and Phoenix and Saints and Page, they're not all going to work out. They can't all work out. And I think out of all of them, I think Ricky Saints might be the worst, like have the worst odds to working out in the long run compared to everybody.
Yeah. I think Ricky Saints I think he's like 34, 35. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's like 34, 35. He's in NXT with a lot of younger guys. I mean, I don't think that's a good look.
Yeah. Like to put it in perspective, like or what I'm trying to say, like Obafemi is a star. I see a star with that guy. I see a star with the young OG. And I don't really see it with Trick Williams, and I certainly don't see it with who are we talking about now? What the fuck? I just lost my mind. Ricky Saints. I see how he's good, and I've always seen how he was good, even in NWA when he was over there. But I'm not seeing him I don't see that he'll get moved up and then he'll be in the mix with like top guys in WWE. I don't see that happening. So take that, Ricky Saints. No offense to Ricky Saints. Again, I'm amused by him. I like when he comes out, and I don't mind his wrestling and everything. I don't know if he has the stature for this, and I just don't see it. The it thing. Ethan Page has got it, and Brody King and Buddy is next. Yeah, I don't know about them guys. I don't think Buddy Murphy was too much of a thing. He was a disciple for Seth Rollins. And then other than that, I mean, he's awesome in the ring. But again, he doesn't have that it factor. He's a guy, another one with the charisma of a dead cat. You still with us, Reezy?
I'm still with you.
Okay. Just letting me cook. Is that it?
Just letting you cook, man. And I just think, I don't know, man. I just think, WWE bringing in a lot of these AEW guys is typical major promotion thing. Like, I took your talent, not because they really want them. It's just to take them and just to punch. It's like a punch in the face, And it's kind of like we don't really need a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand how AEW does the same thing. How you can have this loaded roster with talent that not just you don't know what to do with them. You already is overloaded, and you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You're still trying to figure out, and you're trying to bring in more people and put yourself in that same situation.
The amount of money they must be spending on every single one of these signings, but the money to WWE must be nothing. But imagine if you just kind of slowed down with it and focused on the talent that you have. Like I think it would just be better for business instead of they're so obsessed with like every streamer and influencer, wrestler, anybody that like has a little bit of cachet outside of their business to bring them in and to bring their fans in. It's like they're the ultimate. They had a word for this like several years ago, where you're like a podcaster or an influencer and you keep trying to grow off of other people. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they want to like join to leech off their audiences and stuff. There's a word for it, but I forget what it is. But it feels like the WWE is just like a really big company that is just leeching off of everybody else, which is fine. I get that's what that's kind of how things work these days. But it's so in your face. Here's celebrities out front, and look at this podcaster that's going to talk about us, and let's show another one that's. It's like, just cut the shit. How about having a good show?
No. I'm with you on that, Dot.
Yep. Corbin fights under the name now, Bishop Dyer.
I like that name.
Bishop Dyer, huh?
I like that name a little bit better. Bishop Dyer.
Better than his real name.
Sounds badass.
Yep. All right, we're with it, Coach. We'll see what he does over there in that MLW. He did do that blood sport a little while ago.
Bloodsport's coming up, and I'm gonna actually be at that show because I'm gonna be at WrestleMania weekend.
Nice.
In about 2 weeks, and yeah, I mean they got some pretty cool stuff.
Are you gonna go to the Fly God show there?
I will be at the show.
Look at that. You got to take some video. You got to tell everybody about the show.
I'm going to wear a Dr. Hughes t-shirt. That's the plan.
Nice.
I'm going to wear some Dr. Hughes gear representing the show, representing my brothers, and I'm going to try to do some streaming.
Very cool.
And maybe you can use some of the stuff I stream for the show.
Yeah. And if you get a hold of somebody for a picture, say, hey, do you mind cutting you're listening to the Dr. Hughes show, one of them little bumpers? Because I can always stick them in between the audio podcasts that you can find on Apple Podcasts, everybody. Mm-hmm.
Get pics of Cross. Okay, I'll do that.
Oh, yeah, he's going to be there too? Natty's going to be there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some big
Killer Cross is going to be at Bloodsport.
Let's go. Well, I would go, but I'm going to.
He will always be Killer Cross to me.
Yeah, always. He's so underrated. He's actually doing what I've always been asking, like trying to keep kayfabe as best as possible. He's acting the part online that he is on TV. How hard is that? And you wrestlers out here, you don't see it, how that's beneficial to your career. You're gonna act like you're one person online and another person on TV. That's stupid. In the wrestling world, speaking, that's stupid. I get why actors on TV shows do that. This is pro wrestling. If you can keep the light switch on 24/7. like the Undertaker did. That's why the Undertaker's the Undertaker. Get it? That's why Ric Flair's Ric Flair.
Oh yeah, Ric Flair, the Nature Boy,
Yep.
number one greatest of all time. People, number
You think
one.
he was not Ric Flair outside the ring? Woo! No, he was. That's why he's the best. You know, one of the best.
Yeah. Other than that other guy we don't mention, or I don't mention.
Who's that? Who's that? Who's the other guy?
The guy that sucks.
The Hulkster?
Yeah, the Hulkster sucks.
There he is, everybody.
That's right. I was waiting for you to pull him out. I was waiting for you to pull him out.
I got a couple of them. My thumb wrestlers around here somewhere. This is another classic. This one came after the Big Hogan over there. Everybody knows this brand. Yep.
Oh yeah.
And Justin used to have the Huggy Hogan. That's right. So tough, so cool. And now he's partying with Kid Rock and Donald Trump, coming out in the middle of Republican national conventions. That blew my mind. That's when I knew I was in full clown world this past year. When I watched the Republican National Convention, and of course you had to watch it. It was must-see TV. The Hulkster comes out and does his whole gimmick. Kid Rock comes out. Kid Rock is playing at the Republican National Convention. I remember me and my father would laugh about it. We'll like watch someday like Limp Bizkit. He didn't say Kid Rock. Limp Bizkit was a little more ridiculous, I guess, but Kid Rock's still up there as far as that time period. And he's like Limp Bizkit. Because he would laugh at Limp Bizkit playing in the background, you know, when I'd be around, because Limp Bizkit rocks, of course.
Limp Bizkit is awesome,
especially in the year 2000 or whatever.
Hell yeah.
And he would be like, watch this stuff be playing at the the inauguration for the president in like 20 years. And it fucking happened. How crazy is that? Like, we got Kid Rock in like a big political gig. It's unreal. So yeah, we've hit total goofdom in America thanks to people like Hulk Hogan. Yep. How about are we getting a Mexican PLE? I heard that they might be going to Mexico. I know we're going to India, but Mexico too, Reezy.
Yes, we are getting a Mexico PLE.
Real?
Yes, we are getting a Mexico PLE, and they are going to India. And you know, this just is what I've been saying for a long time. WWE is going to be doing more shows overseas because the fans are louder. And they like that, more louder and crazier, and they make more money out there.
Mm-hmm.
So you can possibly see in about probably before then, but within 5 years, WrestleMania is going to be overseas in other countries like the UK. And
do you think that this will be better for the American fan?
It will not.
Mm-mm.
The American fans, this is not going to be good for any of us. But for WWE, you know, they only care about themselves. WWE, this is going to do tremendous for them.
Oh, the amount of money. Yeah, the India shows. Because, imagine the prices. We know the prices are high here, but what if WWE only did a WrestleMania or a big show here like once every 20 years? Now you're getting they're getting crazy money going, just bouncing from country to country, because every place is like, we may never see this again.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's what it's going to be like. I say in 10 years, before then, but I'm just saying by 10 years, it'll be exactly like that.
Shit. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's going to be so much worse for us over here. And I noticed that because of this European tour going into this WrestleMania, that's a key factor in why this WrestleMania build-up this season has been what, Bret Hart?
It's the shits.
It's been total shits. And that's why they had to save it. They had to come back to the States and then make us get real personal in some of these promos to make us give a shit about it again, you know? And it's just, that European stuff, it's cool. It's good for that. Good for you, right? Good for you guys. But in the scheme of things for us, as far as American fans, which why else would I care about any other place? And it's not good for us because the shows are on in the middle of the afternoon. The news is scattered about what's going on, and it leads to people not caring as much. So, especially in normal people time over here. We're over here, normal people time. I know, Reezy, you have a hard time with this. You're not in normal people time, so you're a little wacky.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, I didn't know Raw. Like, one time, not long ago, actually, Raw started like at like 9 or 10. It was like early in the morning, and I didn't find out till later. I'm like, hold on, what time did Raw start? Oh, they were in the UK.
Yeah.
And then another time, Raw started at 3 over here, and I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, they're in another country again. So I mean, it's gonna get weird and difficult for us. My question is, when WrestleMania start going to the UK and Mexico and all these,
they're going to the UK for it, probably
which indie show?
Yeah,
because a lot of these indie shows aren't going to be able to follow them.
Mm-hmm.
This WrestleMania weekend thing could change. Think about that.
They're getting stupid money, though. I can't believe the amount of money they're getting for scripted matches all over the world. Like, they really did it. And they got rid of Vince to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I mean, Vince was crazy.
Yep.
I know there is an ideal out there. It's just an ideal. They said this was spoke about in one of the TKO meetings about moving WrestleMania to Super Bowl weekend.
Like Super Bowl weekend, yeah.
Like to follow the Super Bowl, like they were going to put it in the same city because there's a lot of money in Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. What if they split up the 2 nights and did one night in one part of the world and the other night in another part of the world, so it would actually make sense with the timing of the Super Bowl? So the Super Bowl could happen and it would play afterwards, but it would be in a part of the world where it's normal time.
Yeah.
You know?
I heard they were going to do it like in the same city and state as the Super Bowl, like the same.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I heard that too. But then I also said, that would be a lot of money for everybody, but at the same time, that would make a city go bankrupt.
It would flood it with people, and everything would be it'd just be packed. And also, would there be enough people that would want to? Because why go to both? You can't go to both if they're playing at the same time, especially.
Well, they will both sell out, but the problem is there would be so many people and it will crowd up the city and state. You know what I mean?
Well, definitely, the cities would just, and all the hotels around would be all booked. I don't even know if they could do that logistically.
Yeah, that would be hard. That's what I said. I don't think they could do that neither. But yeah, I mean, WrestleMania, it's just getting too big. WrestleMania is getting bigger than WWE itself. It is. And, and once WWE starts going to other countries for Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views, the PLEs, it's not going to look good for American fans. But WWE does not care. And I need people to understand that WWE does not care because this is going to benefit them and make them a lot of money. So, therefore, the only thing we're going to have is AEW, which I kind of doubt that too, because Tony Khan is showing signs that he wants to go to other countries too. So it's just kind of like they both can't do this. They can, but if they both, I mean, like what do we have?
Yep, and he's gonna go to other countries. Tony Khan, that is, with a really tiny ring. That's what he's gonna do.
Oh yeah, and then he tried to deny it. Oh, the ring wasn't tiny. It's the same size it always been. It's like it's kind of too.
Oh, sure. And that staircase was the same too that they put on the side, right?
Mm-hmm.
Step ladder. Yeah. So one last thing, and then we'll be off, everybody. Then we'll let you go back to your lives. But CM Punk, He come out last night, Rollins, Roman Reigns in the ring. We got a triple threat going at WrestleMania, and we finally got to know what the favor was. And the favor was he wants Paul Heyman, the wise man, the advocate, in his corner, not Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns told Paul Heyman, you better say no. And he really thought Paul Heyman loved him more than that. Guess what, Roman Reigns? He doesn't. So you're going to have to deal with Paul Heyman now being in CM Punk's corner. Is this as big a deal as you thought it would be, or is this exactly what you thought it would be?
It's exactly what I thought it would be, but at the same time, I wish they came up with something better. I was hoping it was something better than what it was, because I had already predicted this. But also at the same time, remember what Roman said.
Believe that?
He said, do you think I really care? You think Paul, even if Paul did manage, you think he's going to go against me? I don't think Paul is going to turn on Roman. Everybody thinks Paul's going to, no. I think we can get a swerve. Something's going to happen in this match, and I can guarantee you, I promise you, and I want everybody to hear this, I promise you, CM Punk will not win this.
Wow.
Something's going to happen. Something is going to happen in this match. And CM Punk, he's going to get screwed. I don't know how, but something's going to happen in this match. CM Punk ain't walking out.
What if Paul Heyman were to screw both Roman and CM Punk and go with Seth Rollins?
Now, there's been talks about that. That would be the biggest screw over in WWE history.
And he's known for it.
They'd be the biggest screw over in WWE history. You think Paul Heyman's a snake? Oh, that will be the way to do it.
Yep. Totally screw over CM Punk and their long relationship. Oh, we used to talk all the time and blah, blah, blah. And Roman having his wise man go with the old Shield guy. I think that would be perfect. Not like Seth Rollins needs a mouthpiece. Roman does. But as far as the storyline, if you will, goes, what would be better than that? Nothing. That's what would be better than that. So, all right. I think we said it all, Reezy. I think we
said it all.
3 hours and 15 minutes. We killed it today.
We murdered it today. And I think everybody, first off, I want to say I'm glad. I'm so happy to be back on the show. And I want to thank everybody for coming in here, still supporting and representing my brothers. They work very hard to do this show and to keep this show going. So thank you for supporting them.
That's right. And thank you for coming on, Reezy, and all the people showing up every week. And who knows, some weeknights, because we got some shows coming. I know.
Yeah, and I'm open for some more shows too, because I'm gonna be off work for a while. So
Zicky Dice has a project going on. He's looking for sponsors to get it going. He's a quality wrestler out here in the indie scene. We need to get him pumped up. He went to a Seth Rollins school of wrestling, was in a pretty popular punk rock band, real band that played, on labels and all this stuff. And we'll probably get him on soon. And who knows, maybe we'll get Drew McIntyre on soon. I got a few other people I gotta connect with still. So, you laugh out here. You think we're not famous. We're super famous. We get all the celebrities. So thanks for coming on again, Reezy. Thank you to the Sleaze who came on earlier. And we did it. We killed it again. Everybody, don't forget, go to the Teespring store. One last sales pitch to everybody on Rumble, YouTube, and X. Gaze and Gawkapon, fanny packs, mugs, t-shirts, sweaters, hoodies, stickers. You can buy all that and support the show. You can go and listen to my tunes. You can watch my music videos on YouTube. I have multiple YouTube channels. DrHUGEshow Music. We got Dr. Huge Show 2, TOO, where we got some clip vids of these live streams that you see here. But mainly, it's all about these live stream babies. Show up on the Saturdays. Support us during the week. We're on the Twitters. We're everywhere, right? Apple Podcasts. We got podcast versions of the show. And yeah, man. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Jack. That's it. We'll talk to you guys later. Oh, there's Kenny Omega. Here's Kenny Omega again. Where is he? Again, here. There he is. And we'll end on that note.
Kenny. I mean, Kenny, I will say this about Kenny.
Okay.
Since he's came back from his injury, he's looked very different. Like I don't know, can't describe the word.
Well, he took his guts out.
Yeah, I mean.
Are you talking about in his gut area or his neck area?
His face and his gut. His gut too. His gut, all of it. His gut, his neck area.
Maybe he got some work done like Charlotte.
I know he just came back from I know he almost died from. He had that shit Brock Lesnar had.
Yeah.
That diverticulitis. So I mean.
It's bad stuff.
Bad stuff. I'm happy I don't got that shit.
Right. Paladin needs him a shirt. Here, let me show you again. I love brainwashing people. I don't even do this enough. I need to be showing this like every 10 minutes like everybody else does on their shows. You can get phone covers. You see that phone cover? How cool is that? Buy, sell, all that stuff. We're doing it, folks. And then the more you buy, the more I show up. I think that's how this works, I think. Right? And imagine if I ever got like up to like $1,500 a week doing this. I would quit my life and I would just do this all the time. $1,500 a week is pretty cheap when you think about it. So think about that. I'll add to my revenge list here, and we'll be back in business next week. Everybody have a good night.